Hey everybody, Dan here. Just a couple quick things about this week's episode. The reason why it didn't go up right after we recorded it is because we had a little technical difficulty. My laptop decided to update and restart as we were recording the episode, so we actually lost Corey's part of the E3 coverage. He went first, obviously, covering Microsoft, so rather than restart from the beginning, we were probably 20 minutes deep at that point. We decided to just re-record it from our Twitch stream. So, that being said, the quality is probably not going to be as good as it usually is. There's a little echoey, and it'll probably be quiet. It just doesn't. It won't sound as good as our usual episodes because it's from our Twitch stream and compressed a little bit. So. It won't sound as good, but that's only the first half an hour. So I'll try to do as best I can to get the volume up and make it sound decent, but it probably won't be as good as it usually is. So apologies for that. It's something that happens, I guess. I should have updated and restarted my laptop before we started the episode, but that didn't happen, obviously. So hopefully it won't happen again, and hope it doesn't sound too bad. So without further ado, episode 151 on our 2014 E3 recap. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, what's with the blinds and DMPs for so long then I can't even think. Hey, what's with food on airplanes? I don't get. Whatever happened to Bigfoot? I think we should make the whole plane out of black box. Whatever happened to Bigfoot? I think we should make the whole plane out of black box.
Welcome everybody to episode 151 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host Dan.
I'm Eric.
Will.
I'm Corey.
Today our episode is on our E3 2014. It's going to be our recap episode. E3 started, I guess, kind of Monday. Went through Thursday. Monday is called Zero Day on E3, and that's when all the major press conferences are. So we're going to be covering all those, and obviously the miscellaneous announcements that were made during E3. Today's date is June 16th,
Nope.
June 14th, 2014. This is the third take, and I made the same mistake on the first one. So
Brilliant.
but anyway, our E3 episode is this episode. We're going to be talking a little bit later about the Destiny Alpha. I think, three of us played the Destiny Alpha.
Did you play it?
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
I did.
I thought you were going to get to play it till tonight.
I snuck a few minutes in here and there.
Dan's a liar.
Dan's a dirty liar.
Attaboy, Dan, bro.
I had the opportunity, and I seized it. So
He took the bull by the horns.
I did. And then also Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes I played, so I'll be talking about that later. So
I'm going to talk a little more Watch Dogs myself.
Watch Dogs. Okay. Will?
Nothing.
Nothing. Corey?
I got some treats to talk about. I played a couple iOS games, one being Hoplite, the other being Angry Birds Epic.
Okay.
And I also played Among the Sleep.
Oh, good. I want to hear about that.
I've been wanting to play that.
I actually also, Corey, sorry to interrupt, but I was in a FIFA 14 tournament today in honor of the World Cup that I will talk about.
Oh, is that
stuff.
going on?
What?
The World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually a really big game right now.
I thought it didn't start till next week.
It's right now.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anything else, Corey?
No.
All right, let's get started. So the first press conference on Zero Day, I guess you could say, is Microsoft's. They what was it, 9 or 9:30 Eastern?
Yeah. No.
Or no,
Noon.
it was 9 or 9:30 Pacific.
Noon
I'm
or
sorry.
noon 30.
I think the time zones got a little confused. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but I think there was a little bit of confusion in a couple places with
Yeah,
the
for
time zone.
idiots.
Well, I'll get into it when we talk about Nintendo. But Corey, you're going to be covering our Microsoft press conference.
I will
What do
be
you-
covering the Microsoft press conference. That is correct.
Yes. So go ahead.
So
Take us
they
away.
opened up right away, and they're like, all right, big emphasis on games. All you're going to see is games. And they did not lie. Everything they showed was games.
Mhm.
They led off with, much to my chagrin, and maybe the chagrin of many, the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare trailer. Well, I shouldn't say the chagrin of many, but I think we kind of talked about this a little bit, that the people who are really into Call of Duty and aren't into games as a whole probably aren't watching E3. But anyway, we did see the Advanced Warfare trailer. It's set in a futuristic... Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. Some of this was my own viewing of it, and some of it was me reading recaps of it. Because I was also at work while I was watching this, so I had some holes here and there I had to fill in. Set in a futuristic Korea, we saw lots of drones, mech suits, and futuristic stuff. One of the things that really stood out to me was the ammo display on the gun rather than in the heads-up display. Kind of reminded me of Halo. The heads-up display overall was pretty minimal as opposed to games past. Exclusive first DLC on Xbox. They made sure to include that as part of the trailer, and also didn't do much to excite me. I don't know about you guys.
No. The only cool thing I thought about that was the grenades. When he threw the grenades up in the air, they were like quote-unquote smart grenades. He just threw them up in the air, and then they had like a little booster, and they flew to their target. I thought that was cool, but that was it.
Future grenades.
Yeah,
That's going to make me mad in multiplayer.
that was the only thing that I thought was cool about that.
I took notes on the whole thing. What I wrote for COD was it opened the show. It was Titanfall mixed with COD mixed with Killzone. Yawn.
Yeah, yeah, I was not impressed.
No.
Which to me
That was-
made the
that-
which to me made the Sunset Overdrive trailer that much sweeter, but I'll get to that in a little bit.
Head here.
Forza 5 announcement. They mentioned the Nürburgring track was available for free starting that day. Just one of those things that everybody loves to hear, like, oh, and by the way, it's available right now.
Yeah,
Which makes people happy. I like that kind of stuff. Granted, I don't give two shits about Forza. I don't have an Xbox, but when they say stuff like that, it's like, hell yeah, I could play it right now, which makes me happy. But then they went on and announced Forza Horizon 2, exclusive for Xbox, coming out September 30th. It's did any of you guys play the first Horizon game?
No, but
Nope.
it got well reviewed, and I'm probably going to get the second one.
it's Forza, but it's like open world Forza.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Set in a southern Europe, they have over 200 drivable cars. They have weather, like a weather mechanic, so you can drive in snow and rain and all that good stuff.
Dan cycle too.
Yes, and also it looked really good. It just, to me, it seemed a little bit more like the fun Forza, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, arcade.
Yeah, I know very little about those games, so I can't really speak to that too much. So at this point, I was a little bit like, yeah, whatever. Like, can I see something that's kind of cool? Then they showed the trailer for Evolve, which is a sci-fi cooperative first-person shooter. They showed a little bit new content because we've seen content from that before, correct?
Yeah.
Also announced exclusive beta and DLC for Xbox, and that's coming out this fall. I honestly cannot remember a single thing about the trailer. Didn't really stand out for me.
Dude, it looks so good.
Do you guys remember? Can you talk about it a little bit? Because I honestly don't remember.
Kinda.
I don't remember it either.
The environments were really cool. I think it was kind of like in a cave. And I think they're calling the one monster, I don't know how many monsters you can be, but the one is called the Kraken. It looked like a sea creature, kind of. But the environments just looked so cool, what it was in. I think the one that stood out to me was like a cave.
Okay.
But I wrote, that's a day one buy for me, for sure. It looks so cool.
I'm not tickled by it.
You're not, well, it's not your kind of game.
No.
The problem I think I'll run into with a lot of games that are coming out is if I'm not playing with people I know, it's going to be kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Because
It seems like teamwork is at the front for that.
well, it is because everybody has to be a different class. You don't have a choice.
Right.
There's 4 classes on the 4v1, and you know, like I said, you can't have duplicate classes. So, and I guess from what I understand from listening to other podcasts and stuff about the game, it's important that you follow your role
Yeah.
in that. So if you're not playing with people that know you and are willing to do that, there's a pretty good chance at least one of the guys is going to be an asshole.
Right.
Are you getting this for PS4?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Anything multi-platform is going to be PS4
Okay, good.
for me.
Good.
Okay. Continue.
And that led us to the first thing that really excited me was the reveal of Assassin's Creed Unity. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I always say my interest with Assassin's Creed begins and ends with the setting that it's in. I thought the setting was really cool, not just in terms of it being the French Revolution, but also just the way, the crowds and stuff that they showed, I thought was really cool. So like I said, French Revolution, 1789. They mentioned something about forming your own brotherhood, so it's like they actually demonstrated a 4-player sort of cooperative mission, which I thought was really cool. Again, the graphics looked really nice. Maybe I'll be snake bit by Assassin's Creed again, who knows. But
they announced a little bit later on that one of the things that they did away with are the tailing missions where you fail if you get too far outside.
I don't know if
the
they did away with them. They said they were changing them.
They said that they made it so that if you don't file, you have other ways of getting that information.
Okay.
So you're not going to fail the mission,
right.
Which is what caused me to rage quit Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. So that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I'm with Corey. I think the setting is fantastic, and he's absolutely right. The amount of people on screen was crazy.
It's different. I've never seen a game like that before.
No, and the draw distance was amazing. The graphics look great. So I'm moderately interested. I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to be better than 3. 4 was good, other than the assassin stuff. But
this is another day one buy for me. The only thing is, same thing with this as with Evolve, especially with the stealth aspect of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
you're gonna want to play with people you know.
Yep.
Because if you, especially for this game, this is way more important for this game. If you're not just watching the trailer, like if everybody's not cooperating and talking about where they're going or who they're taking out, you really need to set up a plan and a strategy for this. And if it's done correctly with friends, it could be really, really cool.
Yeah.
If it's not, it could be really frustrating.
Corey said, a la Monaco.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
To a less of a clusterfuck extent.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
But yeah, similar.
Okay.
So I started getting a little excited at Assassin's Creed Unity, and then they led into a Dragon Age teaser, which is another one. I took these notes, but honestly, I cannot remember the teaser at all. I think they saved the more like gameplay kind of thing until the EA press conference, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so this was literally just a teaser.
Mm-hmm.
But in my notes it says looks cool, so it must have looked cool.
Yeah.
At that point. But I can't remember any part of it. But then they went into the Sunset Overdrive trailer, which everybody seemed really confused to start. I was watching some live streams, and they're like, what the hell is this? Because it opened with, like, a first-person shooter with, like, dudes with guns and, bro fist, first-person shooter kind of Call of Duty bro kind of thing. But then it's cracked, and it turned out it was Sunset Overdrive, which, to me, granted, I wasn't into Sunset Overdrive at all last year. I thought it looked stupid. But the presentation part of it can make a huge difference at E3 because it's all about like getting people excited for games, and like no matter how you do that, as long as you get people excited, I think you've done your job. And for me, Sunset Overdrive kind of did that. But I will say I was way more impressed with what they showed for Sunset Overdrive as a game than they did last year. We actually saw some combat and stuff like that. It looks fun. It looks different. I like all the colors. I think that's kind of a theme with this generation, especially this year, is like colorful games. Like last generation, we saw a lot of earth tones and like grays and browns and that kind of stuff. But I feel like this year we're getting a lot of really colorful games. We'll talk about a few more, and I'll point them out when we get to them. But yeah, there's a lot of like fun colors and neon washout, kind of like 80s bright. I like that style a lot. And I think Sunset Overdrive looks really good. October 28th, exclusive to Xbox One. They mentioned something about Chaos Squad. Did you guys pick up on that at all?
No.
Is that the co-op mode?
Yeah, but I didn't really understand what was going on with that.
All I know that I wrote down here in my notes is there's an 8-player co-op, which would be a lot of fun. Like, to me, it looked kind of like Saints Row over-the-top action, but it looks like you're gonna have like combos that you string together by killing enemies in succession. Yeah, I'm with Corey. That's a day one buy for me.
Yeah. I think if you have an Xbox One, you should get it. It's kind of their game. But that led into Capcom's 31st anniversary announcement, which I thought was hilarious. I love this kind of stuff. It's a Dead Rising add-on, but it's called Ultra Dead Rising 3 Super Plus Alpha Championship Edition, with like a subtitle that I didn't write down. And all it is it's essentially like a ton of fan service for fans of Capcom in their games. It includes literally everything, like all of Capcom's prominent IP, including like Resident Evil content, Mega Man content, other Dead Rising games, and it's a Dead Rising 3 add-on. But I'm not sure if you need Dead Rising 3 to play it. I didn't get that far with it, but it was one of those things where like also available now. So hey, if you're into Dead Rising, good for you. But that's another one for me. Like, it's all part of the presentation. Like, that was a fun, interesting, cool announcement. Regardless of whether I'll play it or not, like, it really engaged me in the press conference overall.
Mm-hmm.
But then that led into the Disney Fantasia Music Evolved announcement. Not really much to say about that. Xbox exclusive coming out this fall. If you're into Fantasia, it's it's a dance game, correct?
I don't know. I tuned out.
Yeah, I
on that
tuned
one.
out. All I know about Fantasia is that you fell asleep on my couch drunk one night listening to it on your phone.
It's a great movie.
Mm.
That was also part of the Dance Central Spotlight announcement, but nothing was really said about that. I think one of the other press conferences covered that a little bit.
There was Just Dance on the Ubisoft one.
Oh, maybe not then. Yeah, so they pretty much just announced it.
I think it's only on Xbone.
Yeah, that's a Kinect one, right?
It is a Kinect game, yes.
Digital download only, I believe, too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you're into those kind of games, I'm sorry I didn't cover it better, but like you guys, I just sort of zoned out there.
Yeah. Tune out. Coffee break.
Which was fine, because then they went into Fable Legends, which I'll talk about a little bit, but initially I was a little bit like confused and I didn't really get it. But I forget who covered it on Kotaku, but they covered it really in depth, and it got me a little excited about it after they talked about it. So Fable Legends is it all co-op? Is there a single player portion of Fable Legends?
I wondered the same thing. I wasn't sure.
They didn't really make it clear, but so they showed this new Fable game, Fable Legends, coming out exclusively on Xbox. There will be a multiplayer beta this fall for Xbone people, and it's a co-op Fable. And like I said, I was initially a little bit disappointed, but I was reading a Kotaku coverage of it, and they said that it's what the players make of it, because one of the interesting aspects is, well, first of all, it's very Fable. There's, from what I understand, a lot of humor and a lot of like what's the word? Like Disney sort of fairy tale setting, like the Fable games. If you're familiar with the Fable games, it's a lot more of that.
It has a very distinct feel.
It does, and it feels very British too.
Uh-huh.
But the one unique and different thing about it, which is something I want more than anything out of next gen games, is the ability to play as the villain. So the co-op Fable team will traverse a sort of gauntlet to get from one end to the other, and somebody can also play as the villain. And what they do is essentially you patrol the world as. Am I saying something wrong?
No, my laptop's restarting. Continue.
Are we not recording?
We're recording on Twitch. It's fine. Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, anyway, you patrol the world as a malevolent, quote-unquote, god. And, the game didn't call that much attention, or the trailer didn't call that much attention to it, but when I was reading on Kotaku, like, it actually sounded pretty cool. The way you can mess with people and, like, try and separate them by dropping down traps. And the way it explained it was that, as a whole, the 4-player co-op group has no problem with enemies, but if you really if you take the time to separate them, like, you can be a lot more effective as a villain. Which kind of made a lot more sense to me, and I was kind of excited about that. Do we want to take a break until we can get the stream back going, Dan?
No, we'll wait till you finish.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because we'll just break in between yours and mine, and then I'll just re-record that part off of Twitch.
Okay. So then they went into Project Spark, Xbox and PC game. They mentioned they showed it at E3 last year. It's basically content creation platform, and I assume you get to play the game as well. They showed a lot more content than they showed last year. Like I believe it was player-made content, and then at the end they announced Conquer, which was a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. I know you're a fan of Conquer, Dan.
I've played Conquer games in the past. I don't know if I'd consider myself a fan.
I remember you giving me Conker's Bad Fur Day on the Game Boy.
I don't remember.
Maybe
I had a couple of the Conquer games.
Maybe that wasn't you. I don't know. It did get me a little more interested in Project Spark. Still, I don't see myself ever bothering with it. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I think people do really cool stuff with it, and I'd be willing to try. I have it on. You can get it on PC. I think it's a free download.
You can get it on Xbox One too. I wrote, it still looks awesome to me. I want no business with creating anything, but I'm very interested in playing what other people create.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you hope like something like a DayZ will come out of it. You know,
Yeah.
DayZ was originally Arma mod.
Yeah.
You kind of hope something like that will come out of Spark, but you know, who knows.
Well, I played a cool game on Project Spark where I was like a rabbit going on an adventure.
Aww.
Just some game someone made.
Cute. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I should try. I think I downloaded it on Xbox and I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I really should give it a whirl.
And there's ratings and stuff, so you can kind of sort out the
I love that.
crap from the good stuff people
Good.
create.
That's cool.
Moving on, Ori and the Blind Forest was the first indie game. I guess you could call it indie game. They showed. It's a artsy 2D side scroller, very artistic, from a studio called Moon Studios. So it was all very apropos. They didn't really talk much about it. It was just a demonstration. But that's going to come out fall 2014, and that is also an Xbox One exclusive.
That looks really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does look cool. I imagine they're putting some resources behind it because it was one of the indie games that got its own minute to demonstrate there. And then they went into the big Halo announcement. All right, I'm going to do my best describing this. I know you guys paid a lot more attention than I did. So November 11th, 2014, you will be able to play the entire saga, Halos 1 through 4, on Xbox One in one tidy little package. One interface, all 4 games, one disc. Also includes 4,000 gamer score. And in the other than Halo 2, they will all have their original multiplayer engines. And Halo 2 is getting the full anniversary remake, the same sort of anniversary remake we saw for Halo 1. So you'll get the original of Halo 2, but then the full remake. Did I describe that correctly?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to have the same function with the Combat Evolved remake where you can switch between the new and the old graphics too, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I think 3 and 4 were just they're the normal. They're not
They are.
redone.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, everything's original engine other than Halo 2. You get the full anniversary remake, which is really cool. I think it's a $60 game. You can play Halos 1 through 4.
Over 100 multiplayer maps, all the original maps. Did you talk about the television series included?
I'm getting to that right now. Halo Nightfall live action series will lead up to the new Halo game, Halo 5 Guardians. And this is actually separate from the Showtime show that Showtime is doing. But it leads up to the new Halo. And that's Xbox One sort of homegrown content, just like Netflix does their own content. It's a reason to get you to use their service and all that good stuff. So I like that idea. How do you guys feel about it?
I think it's awesome.
It is. It's a great idea.
I'm really excited about that, and I think it'll be really cool to build excitement to lead up to the new game. You know, because that's still a ways off, so it'll be cool to have something to kind of tide you over a little bit.
Agreed. And then we went a little more indie. Back to
Don, you missed something there.
what did I miss?
Halo 5 beta in December.
Oh, I didn't write anything for that.
Yeah, well, that's it. I just think people will probably be chomping at the bit to play it.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Dumb.
All these games have betas now. It's essentially a demo. It's not a.
Yeah, Corey, Halo is Xbox.
No, I know.
So I think that's, I don't think it's
It's
dumb.
a smart move.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah,
Really?
but it's essentially just testing everything. I don't know. I have my own. I have my own thing about these quote unquote betas. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, let's talk about when we do Destiny.
Okay. Moving along, the game Inside is the next game from Playdead, the studio that did Limbo. It's sort of just like Limbo, the gameplay that they showed, it was sort of moody. You play a little boy running around in a 2D environment. and he runs into groups of creepy adult silhouettes that don't really react to him. Not much was said about that either. I was actually surprised at how many people weren't familiar with this, because I personally wrote an article about this game like 2 years ago with a screenshot that demonstrated that same little boy like running through the rain or whatever. But you know, whatever. Good for Xbox for pulling that out. They didn't say whether it was an exclusive or anything like that. Did you guys see any of that?
No.
I did not see that.
I'm assuming it's not, if they
Okay.
didn't say it was exclusive.
They did say early 2015 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's come out on PC, I would guess.
Yeah. Some, you know, maybe they were just using that game to pad their
Yeah.
indie display. But then they, right after that, they went into their sort of game montage of indies. What is it? id at Xbox? Is that what they call their
ID, yeah.
indie campaign there? And some of them looked pretty cool. The one that really stood out was Cuphead. That's the one that sort of looks like an old school cartoon, like not Animaniacs, like a Betty Boop kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What I did for the indie segment, because it went so fast, I tried to type down just the names of each of the games that I thought looked awesome, but doing that, I couldn't write down any descriptions for them, so I don't know what any of these are, but I picked out of there White Knight, Cuphead, Lifeless Planet, FRU, Grave, Hellraid, and Below. Below we know a little bit about.
Yeah.
I actually, there's
All looks
one
awesome.
I'll talk about later a little bit. But yeah, I'll just run through the list of all of them.
Yeah.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, hashtag IDARB, IDARB, Plague Inc. Evolved. We all know what Plague Inc. is, right?
I played
Yeah.
that on my phone.
Exactly, yeah. Massive Chalice, Aztez, Night Squad, White Knight, Earthlock, Festival of Magic, Cuphead, Hyperlight Drifter, Lifeless Planet, Slash Dash, Fru, Mighty Number 9, Grave, and fucking Threes.
There's some
Oh.
heavy hitters in there, though.
I was super impressed with that whole
Yeah.
display.
Yeah, Hyperlight Drifters is a big one. Massive Chalice is a big one. That's Double Fine,
Yeah.
their new game.
People
so
seem to be really excited about Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
yeah.
Cuphead, like I said, Cuphead looks awesome. Yeah, that's all good stuff. We like to see that, especially from Xbox, the studio that most people would say is not a company that most people would say is not indie friendly, but for them to come out and show all those games, I think is a good thing for everybody. And then they went on to Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know why people were surprised it was Tomb Raider. I knew as soon as I saw the frickin' thing that it was Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
This is Lara Croft. I don't know, Dan. You seem to be the most Tomb Raider friendly person. I didn't. You know, it's just one of those cinematic trailers. We didn't really get much out of it.
There's a lot of cinematic trailers, and I find it hard to get excited about just a cinematic trailer
Yeah, same
because obviously they put the best foot forward of whatever game the trailer's for. But at the same time, like I like the first Tomb Raider so much that I'm interested in it. But
I can get excited about cinematic trailers if the cinematic trailer explores a universe that I'm interested in.
yeah,
Like more sci-fi kind of outer space stuff. Like a cinematic trailer in those universes can get me excited. Something like this, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's called Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Coming.
she's going
soon.
through some psychological problems apparently from her events in the first
Personal
first game.
struggle.
Yeah,
That is correct. And then we saw The Witcher 3. Actual gameplay footage. Super exciting. It's a good way. Granted, it's multi-platform. It's a good thing for Xbox to show that in their press conference because it makes them look good.
I heard something funny about that, actually.
Go ahead.
It was on Giant Bomb, and he was talking about Destiny being shown by PS4 or Sony, and he, up until like the other day, thought that Destiny was a PS4 exclusive because it's just had like a Sony link to it.
yeah.
And I think, like Corey was saying, it's smart for them to do this stuff because even if people don't realize it's exclusive, like it says Microsoft or
Yeah,
Sony,
yeah.
and like even if they just say
So you associate.
exclusive content, some people might just hear exclusive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder if there's ever like a bidding war between Sony
Oh,
and
yeah.
Microsoft to go to like a CD Projekt Red and be like, we want you at our press conference. How much is it going to cost us?
And
Well, Titanfall was pretty much everyone assumed that Microsoft paid Respawn a ton of money to have that be a Microsoft exclusive.
And
No, I'm not talking about making them exclusives. I'm talking about showing them at your press conference.
Oh,
Like a multi-platform game, like The Witcher.
probably.
Or is The
Did-
Witcher going to be on PS4?
Yeah, PS4.
Okay,
and
yeah. It kind of makes me wonder. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
No, I'll talk about it during Sony.
Okay. And it was nice to actually see Geralt doing some witchering, something that he didn't do much of in Witcher 2. He was pretty much caught up in the whole political thing, so it was good to see him, behaving like a witcher and killing big demons, monsters,
a Griffin.
beheading a griffin.
That was awesome.
That was really sweet. That game looks really good. I'm really excited for it. And then we saw a little bit of Phantom Dust. It was just a CG trailer, sort of a man versus woman in like a magic fight. But that was really cool. I never played the first Phantom Dust, but I remember hearing about it, and a lot of people seem to be excited about it. It's a remastered version of the original Xbox game with some added gameplay. But I was really into the setting and stuff, and the trailer made it look cool. I don't know about you guys in Phantom Dust. There wasn't much to go on with. Again, it was just another cinematic trailer.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about it either. I don't know.
And then we saw The Division. It's always nice to see The Division. They had a new gameplay demo, just basically demonstrated some more gadgets, and it was a much longer gameplay demo than what we saw back last year. Still excited for that game. I don't know about you guys.
Fucking can't wait.
I'm excited for it, but it's hard to get excited for it because God only knows when it's
Exactly.
going to come out.
Did anybody else just get a raging boner when she told him to call up his map, and it's like this crazy display underneath him?
Yeah.
I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
It's like an augmented reality rather than like calling up like a mini map. Like it exists around you. It's really cool. You're right.
Did you also notice that they snuck in a car door shutting again this year?
I didn't notice.
You know how they made a big deal about that last time?
No.
Yeah, it was this
I
thing
probably
that
would
people
remember.
like. The guy comes up against the car. This is last E3, and like crouches down and shuts the car door, and that's something you don't usually see. You usually just kind of see him go over it or whatever. But people were like making a big deal about it last year. But I saw them do it again this year. They snuck it in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done, Ubisoft.
Yeah, we got to see a lot more gameplay stuff. They had the holographic viewer, the grenades, the flash bangs, all that kind of stuff was pretty cool. That game still looks great.
It's another one though. Probably gonna want to play it with people you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe not though, because I think it's kind of going to be Destiny in a different setting. Same kind of idea. I feel like.
Third person.
Yeah.
No.
I don't feel like I'd have to play Destiny with people I know, so maybe not. I'm completely full of shit.
Scalebound, Platinum Games, Xbox One exclusive. All I wrote was douchey hero fights dragons, wears headphones. And at one point he shrouds himself in bio armor. Again, this was a cinematic trailer. There was no actual gameplay. It's one of those things that looks like it could be fun, but, who really knows?
My notes said, crazy monsters, not really sure what was going on at all. Probably find out in 2 years.
At least.
Yeah. I have no idea.
But I like the whole that. That's me. I'm into that kind of fantasy, that kind of stuff. So it was cool for me anyway. But not much to go on. Who knows what it's gonna be? And then they ended. Did I skip anything?
Nope.
They ended with a new Crackdown announcement. Another cinematic trailer. Apparently nobody saw this coming. I don't know. I'm not too big into Crackdown, but yeah.
I played the first Crackdown. I guess it's a remake of the first Crackdown. That's what I saw some people saying. I didn't get that impression. I got the impression that it was just a new Crackdown. Kind of a reboot of the Crackdown franchise, because I guess Crackdown 2 was really bad. I didn't play Crackdown 2. I played the first one, and it was really good.
They gave one of them away for free, I think, on their gold. I think it might have been one of the first ones they gave away for games for gold.
Yeah.
I never played it because it didn't look good to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the impression that it was a remake either.
Yeah. I think they were just trying to reboot the franchise and jettison the Crackdown 2 bad image.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Overall, I was very impressed, but, I know you guys are going to talk about the other press conferences, but I was also very impressed with Sony and Nintendo as a whole, so,
Do you guys want to discuss each one after everything? Or
Well, we'll discuss what we thought of Microsoft while it's fresh.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric, because you're the only one of us that has an Xbox One.
Yes.
What stuck out to you as
I certainly was not as impressed with Corey. I thought everybody did good at E3. Still think Xbox came in last of everybody. I'm excited for Halo, obviously. I'm excited for Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for some of the indies. But I didn't see anything there that said, I need to go buy an Xbox
yeah.
if I didn't have one.
Yeah, that's the exact impression that I got.
Yeah.
Someone who I already have a next gen console. I've got a PC. Any multi-platforms are going to be on those two. There wasn't anything for me that said, like you said, I need to go out and buy an Xbox.
See, the thing with me
wasn't.
is that like I've discussed before, I've never played the Halo campaigns.
Right.
So that's all fresh for me, and that'll be really cool. I'm excited to have that. And Sunset Overdrive, I think, will be really cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, but as far as like a AAA game that I was like, yes,
It was a lot of multi-platforms.
it was a lot of multi-platforms, and like Corey said, they did focus on games,
Which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I meant to say that. It just for me, someone who has already got a next gen console and a PC, you know,
Right.
I think the whole appointing Phil Spencer thing was like one of the best things Xbox could have done, because I do think they did do a good job of convincing maybe people that don't have a next gen console of Xbox is the way to go.
I don't know if I agree with that. But
As somebody who might be getting one, the only things that really impressed me were Sunset Overdrive and Halo.
Right.
and I think that's probably what most people are feeling.
Yeah.
Although I think that as indie friendly as PS4 and Sony are, I think that Microsoft had the better indie display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't think it was anything earth-shattering or didn't give me a boner,
Right.
a video game boner.
I didn't see anything either.
It was good
For
though.
me, yeah.
I would applaud them.
I think, honestly, well, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I'm with you guys for the most part. Like Halo is, for me, the Halo thing is a reason to buy an Xbox right there as a Halo fan. And then I was also excited by Sunset Overdrive. Like, once I have my Xbox, that sounds like a game I'd want to play on it.
Yeah, and
One.
And then even Fable, which initially I was let down. Like, I really liked that idea of playing as the villain, and once I read that breakdown on Kotaku of how it actually works, got me really excited. And then, granted, these aren't Xbox games, but because they showed them at the Xbox press conference, it got me excited for Xbox. Is The Witcher and The Division and Dragon Age, and just. It's smoke and mirrors, but it was effective for me, and it got me excited to be a part of gaming, and in this example, Xbox.
Okay.
So are you getting one?
Probably eventually. I don't know.
Did you make your decision on Xbox over PS4?
There's no way I would base my decision on whether I get Xbox or PS4 on E3.
Okay. Gotcha.
What do you base that on?
Regardless, it's a matter of timing, like what comes out when, and who's playing it, and it's like when I got my Wii U, like that pretty much happened. I decided that in an afternoon. Like, I didn't really think about it very long.
Yeah. That's funny that that the Wii U is Corey's first next
But
gen
Corey's
console.
kind of a wild card,
That's true.
so not surprising.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Microsoft?
Well, I'm glad Corey's thinking about getting an Xbox at least, because if you got Fable Legends, Corey, I would get it too. Otherwise, it's a game I would never play.
That would be fun to play with friends, for sure.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break while I figure out our technical difficulties. So yeah, we'll be right back. Oh, welcome back, everybody. Episode 151 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I think we have our issues all sorted, so we're going to continue. If you're wondering, probably the first part of this episode doesn't sound as good as usual. It's because I had to record it off of our Twitch stream because we had some issues. So yeah, it's probably not going to sound as good as this is now. But I think we're good now. So. I'm going to cover the EA press conference. That was the next one. I think it started at like 3 Eastern on Monday, 0 day at E3. And they started off big, I thought, with Dragon Age Inquisition video. It was really cool because they had the screen come up, and then right underneath the screen they had this like thing lift, and someone was playing a cello. to the opening of the trailer, and that was really cool. The music was really, really good for it and got me really excited. It was just a cinematic trailer though, like a teaser trailer. It showed some locations, a little gameplay, and a variety of the bad guys. So that was good. Then they brought out Aaron Flynn, the BioWare studio manager, who explained some of the background of the story and sets up the story a little bit. They announced the ability to choose between third-person action-y combat and then tactical mode, which is like an old isometric RPG, which I think is awesome. Because there was people that had a preference on the action-y combat for Dragon Age 2 and didn't necessarily like the strategic combat as much in the first one. So this game's giving you the option to do both. So that's really cool. And I really wish the noise upstairs would stop. It's driving me nuts. But anyway, then they showed a video of some of the characters that accompany you on your mission. No names I recognize, but I think that's just like the new characters. I'm hoping, obviously, some characters return from the older games. Specifically, Varric, who is one of the characters. And then, of course, I want to see Morrigan in it, too, because, I love Morrigan. So there's that.
It takes place in Orlais?
Yeah, Orlais, yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's the country.
Gotcha.
What is going on? The dog almost knocked the laptop off the table.
Someone's raising holy hell, Dan.
Anyway.
Dan's gonna riot.
Okay. And then they moved on to Mass Effect. And I only knew that right away because of the music. The music immediately screamed Mass Effect, and that was what caught me. After they did it like a developer video, explaining their vision for the new Mass Effect game. They showed some artwork from it. I wrote specifically, "Oh God, the music," because it brought me back to the Mass Effect games, which was really cool. But they didn't show anything other than like a few screens. That was frustrating to me.
Yeah.
But they announced they're working on a new IP along with the Mass Effect stuff, so I'm not sure if the new IP is in the Mass Effect universe. Maybe it's like a strategy game. I don't know. They didn't get into it, but
I mean, everybody knew that they were working on a new Mass Effect,
Yeah.
so they basically just confirmed something that was already confirmed.
yeah, it was a little frustrating to see that. I wanted to see something from it, like something a little more substantial.
Well, this happened with another game too,
Yeah.
which you'll be getting into.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, it will. Yep. So that was Mass Effect. Then they had Rachel Franklin come on to talk about The Sims 4. Sims interactions will be more complex than ever. They have hopes and desires, which has an effect on the interactions between the Sims and have long-term effects. The Sims and buildings can be shared amongst the community, too, so that's good news for Sims fans out there. Then they moved on to Bruce Lee, who is apparently having some ties with the new UFC game, which made an appearance on screen. They show a little gameplay and how submissions work. Eric talked about that a little bit. Made a little more sense.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a clusterfuck?
Yeah, I don't like when you were explaining it. I was like, I don't get it.
Well, that's what I said. You can't explain. You have to see how awful it is.
But
in
it still
action.
doesn't make any sense.
No. Even when I was watching, I was like, who was sitting there putting this together and
Yeah.
said, "That's it. That's what we need to do."
Yeah, I don't see how what was going on the screen related to the action in the or the mechanics. I don't see how that relates to the action.
The thing is like, that's kind of a fast-paced environment anyway. Like, if somebody's got you on the ground and trying to break your arm, like, it's not something where you have time to think about it. And
Yeah.
when it's asking you to push the left thumbstick or the right thumbstick in a certain direction, it takes your mind a couple seconds, and you don't have the time to react, I don't feel like, to make your move work
Yeah.
or to escape properly. I just don't think that they really thought that through, because by the time you realize what you're supposed to do, you're either already submitted or...
Yeah, it's
you
too
know,
late.
Right, exactly. Or the guy's already broken out of your hold.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
I think me and Eric talked about I don't think UFC translates very well to a video game, as well as like boxing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
I think they're gonna have a hard time with that. But you know what? Maybe people are gonna love it. I know you didn't care for it, and you would like the
Yeah.
other UFC games, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Jake in the chat, who is a UFC fan, said that he thought the demo was horrible too.
Okay. Oh, he played it.
Yeah, he did. He said it was horrible, and it was so horrible and hard that I won't buy it, and it was on easy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
That's interesting. And then, moving on, NHL 15 makes an appearance. They gave their usual spiel, along with some stills for the game. There's now physics on all 12 players and the puck at the same time, which I thought that was something that had been happening for a while
Well,
now,
that's
but
what they say every year, Dan.
yeah. I did watch a video later on with one of the developers, and he said that they apparently brought in the puck physics, I guess, are what's supposedly going to be really different about this. They brought in in a physicist to do calculations and math for the puck physics.
Patrick Kane is not a physicist.
Cam Neely is not a physicist.
Patrice Bergeron is not a physicist.
Did they announce who won the cover?
No, I don't think so. I didn't
thought
pay
it was
attention.
Bergeron.
Patrice Bergeron.
I thought it was Subban.
I figured it would be Subban.
It was one of the two,
honestly.
huh?
Yeah.
We covered all bases.
And then they had a trailer for it.
Let's look.
Looks like NHL.
It doesn't look like anything. They didn't show anything for it. They showed a trailer and they talked about it, which is my issue with the teaser trailers. It doesn't mean anything to me, you know. Moving on, Criterion had a behind-the-scenes video. They're working on a new IP. They're, of course, the makers of the Burnout series. They show different types of vehicles and explain how a first-person view for driving them is the best way to capture the thrill of racing. Again, they didn't really show much gameplay or anything, just behind-the-scenes developer. I felt like I was watching a documentary when I was watching the EA thing, a behind-the-scenes as opposed
That's what it was.
as opposed to a lot of actual gameplay. And that was for pretty much all of the games except for the last one. But we'll get there. Moving on, Madden 15. Madden 15 will focus more on defense this year.
Haven't they? Correct me if I'm wrong. I swear to God, they've said that for at least 2 out of the last 3.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that they're looking to, because of the Seahawks defense, how good the Seahawks defense was. I think they're trying to suck those people in.
They did the same thing with the Ravens defense a few years ago with Ray Lewis. I
Yeah.
remember them specifically trying to say that this was about defense,
Yeah.
new game.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I don't know, none of this meant anything to me. Camera will be behind the defense now, allowing for easier reading of offensive formations. Is that new?
yes, I think so. Yeah, it is definitely new.
Okay.
It used to be kind of over everything and behind
The
quarterback.
offense, yeah.
Being behind the defense is kind of like career mode, I think.
Okay.
Like where you would, make your own play or play as a pro.
So that's not super new.
It's I don't know if you played like in the player's helmet before or if you had
Zoomed
the same
out.
view that they have now. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So there's that. They redesigned tackling. Defensive players have a target reticle, I guess, on the ground, allowing for aiming of your tackles. There's also regular tackle, which is obviously safe and effective. But there's a powerful tackle, which is more devastating, but will require more skill. There's hundreds of new player animations and emotional responses. New camera angles, which were directed by an NFL film cinematographer. So there's that, and it launches August 26th. So
Sweet.
Madden, yep. Thoughts on Madden? No one's interested, right?
Pass.
Yeah. Corey, I know you can't wait for the new Madden.
I'm sorry, what's this game? Madden?
Madden, Maddon, Madden. Joe.
Oh, is that the new? Is that the new Rayman game?
Yeah, it must be. So there's that. Dawngate is the game next. I don't know if anything was known about Dawngate or not before. I don't follow. It's EA's MOBA. I hadn't heard anything about it, but I also don't follow the MOBA scene, so I don't know if it had been out there or not. But
Yeah, it was.
It was it.
It was. I mean, people knew about it.
Okay.
I think.
It's built in front of and with the guidance of its players, and apparently they created a story for story arc for context for the battle, so you're not just fighting battle over battle after battle for apparently no reason.
Which is why I've said I don't think I could ever get into those.
Right. Yeah, because it's repetitive,
Yeah.
without any story for me. I enjoyed my brief time on Dota, but it's not something I would stay with. But yeah, just so it's not meaningless battles. I don't know. Dawngate. Any interest?
Moderate.
To the MOBA boys among us.
Maybe. Is it free?
No idea. They didn't say, and I didn't look into it further.
If it's free, yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay. They might be going for like a Dota League's free, but it'll probably be free.
But it is EA, so they're gonna do something that'll make you
Yeah,
hate it.
yeah, that's a good point.
So
Yeah. Moving on, Mirror's Edge 2, behind the scenes of the development studio again. They talk about character design for Faith, who is the main character, and again, I felt like I was watching a documentary. They didn't have any gameplay footage. They had early conceptual footage of the game, but it wasn't polished or anything with graphics. It was just showing Faith beating up some bad guys.
now, was Mirror's Edge 2 announced last E3? Or
It was teased last year at E3. So
this year we just got the developer notes.
we got some developer behind the scenes for it. So
Must be coming along well.
yeah, I'm looking forward to Mirror's Edge 2. I wish I
Coming
had
right
seen.
along.
I wish I had seen something for it. I didn't. So, Corey, Mirror's Edge 2.
I just recently played the first Mirror's Edge, and I didn't really care for it.
Okay, I thought it was a fun game. I'm looking forward to the second. I think they could polish the second one.
I just got motion sick
What's the
I can see
appeal,
that.
Corey? What's the appeal to it, do you think?
for Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, as somebody who didn't like it, why do you think people enjoy it?
It's different.
Yeah, it is different. He's right.
All right, fair enough.
Moving on, FIFA 15. They open up the FIFA 15 thing, talking about the emotion of the sport of soccer and how they're going to infuse that into the FIFA series. Players will remember victories and defeats and react accordingly. New movement physics, ball physics, revamped atmosphere. One thing I thought was cool is the turf will get torn up and beaten up as the match goes on.
I like that.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
something that happens in sports. So
I think that they said like the players will have memories.
Yeah.
So like if you do something in a game to another player on the other team, he'll
Yeah.
remember that later in the game.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
cool.
assuming it'll work the same way. Like if you are consistently going to one side of the field or dribbling a certain way or something like that, the players will remember that too.
remember patterns.
Right. If it works that way, it'll be really cool. But
Yeah.
it could just be one of those things they say, and it's something you never notice.
Right.
Which is like
Could be.
It's pretty good odds of that happening.
And then they show a cinematic trailer at the end. So,
Featuring Messi for the second straight year.
yeah. Is he going to be on the cover again?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy it either way.
Right. It doesn't matter.
They could put Will on the front cover and I'd buy it. I'd be more likely to buy it actually.
Will stabbing a soccer ball with a knife.
I would do this
Okay.
celebration.
Nothing wrong with that. Wearing a thumbstick athlete's footy jersey.
40.
And then the last thing, Visceral developed Battlefield Hardline. Apparently, it's a coordinated effort between DICE and Visceral. They showed a multiplayer match. It's known as Heist Mode with 32 players on the map. It's basically like the cops are trying to steal, or it's cops and robbers, and the robbers are trying to steal money and keep it away from the cops. Do they have to evacuate it, or?
Yeah, I think they have to capture it and then escape.
Okay.
Is what I gathered.
Yeah. It was a 32-person map. The camera bounced around between the cops and robbers, too, showing the action. At the end of the match, they announced that the beta is now available for PAC and PS4. And the Battlefield 4 players on PS4 can access the beta through their copy of the game. So that was cool. That got people pretty excited. They had also announced that there was 64 PlayStation 4s actually in where they had the
On the roof.
presser. Well, they had some on the roof. I think it was 16 on the roof.
Okay.
And then right there where they had their conference, they opened up curtains around the side, and they had 64 PlayStation 4s with Battlefield 4 on it. So, and then they closed their show. Eric, Battlefield. That was really the highlight of this. I didn't really see anything else that even remotely interested me.
I think that sums it up.
Dragon
pretty well,
Age.
Dan.
Dragon Age looked awesome again, but that
That
was
was in the
something.
very beginning.
Well, yeah, and I had seen some of that on Microsoft. So yeah,
I'm going to buy Battlefield for
Right.
sure. I think that the Cops and Robbers thing is going to be really cool. They also talked about the campaign being in the mold of a TV crime drama episodically, which I think will be something that brings something fresh and interesting. Because if they do it right, they'll leave you on cliffhangers at the end of each one, and you'll be like, well, I'm just going to keep playing. And you
Yeah.
just kind of burn right through it, and it'll
Yeah.
be kind of cool. From what I understand, it's about a cop who gets mixed up with bad cops, and he has to kind of make decisions whether he's going to help them or not, and kind of gets fucked over because of it, and that's the story, which sounds interesting to me. I think I could get into that, and I think the multiplayer looked really cool. I really do. Go ahead, Will.
My question is how is this Battlefield though?
Would you prefer that they just kept the same shit?
They're
getting a
trying
little
to
stale.
they're trying to do a different
True.
take on the Battlefield series.
I appreciate them trying to change it up.
Oh yeah, I prefer that, but this sounds like a whole new
it's a different
IP
developer.
kind of,
Good.
which is fine with me because
Well, like I said, they're doing the same thing that Call of Duty started doing is to keep it fresh. They started
Except they're actually keeping it fresh.
well, rotating studios. So this one's going to be made by Visceral, and then Battlefield 5 will go back to being made solely by DICE.
And then Visceral puts out a different game. I guess they would be definitely keeping it fresh, which is good because I'm tired of the.
I mean, do you want to buy it or no?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of it.
Okay.
To be honest, I didn't see very much of any of the conferences because they're while I was at work and stuff. What's up?
Your question also begs the question: what makes a Battlefield game a Battlefield game?
Big.
And in my opinion, it's their multiplayer mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of
and I
vehicles, lots of people.
Exactly.
That's what exactly vehicles, big teams, and they still have that. It's just in a different
Setting.
kind of in a different environment.
Yeah.
You know, not in wartime. It's just big time criminals, and you got to stop them.
Yeah.
And that whole spawn mechanic, and the points versus points, and one team overtakes the other slowly with spawn points and that kind of stuff. I think to me that's what makes a Battlefield game, and as long as they continue that, then I have no problem them calling it Battlefield Hardline.
Sure.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, Corey?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was into it when it was spoiled the couple weeks before.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. It like you guys said, I mean, it's something different. I'm so sick of the first-person shooters that we see all the time, and it's nice to see them with a different take.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually really excited about it. As soon as they said the beta was out, I got on the internet because I was going to go and sign up for it, and then forgot that I traded in Battlefield 4 on PS4, so I couldn't play it.
But
I was sad. But Will's going to let me borrow it. I don't know how long the beta goes for, though.
that's true.
I think it's a while.
Is it?
I got that impression from something I read about it.
Yeah.
That it was gonna last a while. So
Good. I'm gonna try and sneak into that, and hopefully can do some reports.
yeah.
But
Okay.
That's a buy for me.
Okay. Yeah, for me, nothing was of interest other than Dragon Age, which they started
No,
with.
that was a really bad conference.
Yeah, and most of it was that they didn't show anything. Like
Oh, did we touch on Star Wars?
no,
yeah,
I
you
didn't. I didn't
touch on
do
that.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh,
That
that's
was-
because they barely did too, Dan.
Yeah, that was the same. That was the same thing. I did miss that. That was towards the beginning.
Not hard to miss.
The Star Wars Battlefront was just developer talking behind the scenes.
and walking in some areas
Yeah.
that was stupid.
That game is years off, I think.
I had heard that early next year, but I don't even.
Bullshit.
If they didn't show anything for it at all, at least
No.
2 years ago, Watch Dogs had a gameplay video.
I'll be shocked if that comes out next year.
Yeah.
The developers or something said that don't worry, you'll get to see some more of Battlefront 2 soon.
Battlefront 3.
3
Next
whatever.
spring, they said.
Next spring.
That's what they said.
Yeah, this is ways off then.
So we're
Is there a conference next spring?
PAX East.
Maybe that. I don't know. But I think they specifically said next spring.
Yeah.
You're right. I remember seeing it next spring.
It was a ways away.
Yeah, that was a really bad conference.
Yeah, I missed. I forgot to put that on because what I did is I watched them all and tried to pay as close attention as I could. I really, I kind of remembered why I can't really watch things on TV because I was battling with the kids the whole time. I was trying to watch these things. I couldn't take notes, so I actually rewatched the EA and Ubisoft ones because those are the ones that I
Bless
covered.
your heart.
I had to,
Yeah.
because I couldn't take notes and I couldn't remember anything.
I'm
obviously,
so sorry.
Well,
Yeah,
let me
so-
ask you guys this: did you guys get excited back when they showed sports games at the Sony and Microsoft press conferences?
No,
No.
I'm not. I don't get excited
Exactly.
for sports games at all. Anymore. I'm not excited for NHL. I probably won't get it again. That said, that's a possibility that I might get NHL, but it's doubtful.
I think it's kind of smartened up.
Yeah. No, I know. Definitely, because the people that go to E3 probably aren't huge sports game consumers.
Yeah, but they didn't show anything for anything else either, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They showed stuff for Battlefield, and that was it.
EA really had nothing this conference.
Yeah,
it was
I know.
by far the worst, I thought. So
Easily.
that's EA. I'm also going to be covering Ubisoft. who opened it with a cinematic trailer, teaser trailer, I guess you could. It's more cinematic trailer for Far Cry 4, which shows the setting of the fictional kingdom of Kyrat, I think is what it is.
Yep.
And they show the bad guy who is a complete nut. But it's awesome. They did. I think they did a good job of making a bad guy that's comparable to Voss from Far Cry 3.
Nuttier than Voss.
I think he's a little nuttier than Voss.
Wow.
After seeing the opening sequence from
I didn't see
Ubisoft.
this.
They also gave a November 18th release date, so that's cool. Assuming
Fingers
there's
crossed.
as I say, assuming there's no delays.
Please.
So that's how Ubisoft opened up. They moved on. Aisha Tyler hosted it again of the Ubisoft. I think it's her third year in a row. They moved into Just Dance 2015. They had a cinematic trailer showing families in groups, friends breaking down on the dance floor to the Pharrell Williams Happy song.
I fucking hate that song.
I didn't mind it the first one or two times I heard it, and I was like, there's not much here for me. But anyway, they announced cell phone connectivity. So apparently, in lieu of using a controller, you can use a cell phone, iOS or Android device. So when you're playing, you can have as many people as have a cell phone play the game at the same time. So, if you're at a Just Dance 2015 party and you're drinking, you can, if you've got a smartphone, which I don't, you can break it out and
Just Dance 2015 party, don't ever talk to me.
right.
If Ubisoft were just to cut this game out of their press conference, you'd think anybody would care?
They're
I don't
fans.
think so. The game is huge.
It is.
But it's another type of thing where I don't know if the E3 people are its target audience.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're a huge fan of the game, you know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
So why show it off at E3 when nobody there is that interested?
There was a few people in the crowd that was shouting for it, but
Was it sarcasm?
maybe you never know. It's possible it could have been
Probably.
sarcasm.
Because if I was there, I'd be cheering for that.
Yeah, that's always a
I've-
possibility.
I've got a round table for later that I think we should discuss a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just going to try to not forget it.
Okay.
That
I'll
of gets into...
I'll try and remember for you. So then they moved on to a cinematic trailer for The Division, which we had already seen during the Microsoft press conference. Again, it was a neat cinematic trailer, but they don't give you much. I guess they didn't need to show gameplay or anything because they had showed gameplay in other pressers. So it was a cool cinematic, but yeah, it was a cinematic. Then they moved on to The Crew, where they showed a cinematic trailer showing a time lapse of some of the locations on an over 2-hour-long mission from Miami to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Apparently, that's one of the missions. I think he said that there's two 2+ hour missions where you have to drive across the whole country.
There's 2 of them?
Two. I think he specifically said 2 of them, which I think is awesome.
I do too, Dan. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait because The Crew is a day one buy for me.
I signed up for the beta.
I did too.
I'm excited.
On PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's for all systems.
How do you do that?
You just go to the website.
Yeah.
It's like the Crew. It's got a look for do a search for The Crew beta signups.
Make sure you have your Uplay handy.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I had
Just look
I had
mine
to
up.
scrounge up my information. But yeah, it's a game that's looking pretty sweet to me. It's the MMO RPG. I found out that the 2010 Ford Focus RS is one of the playable cars in it, so that's what I'm going to have. Even though mine's a 2001 and it's not an RS, that's still the car I'm going to use because it's
Nice.
a Ford Focus.
Toyota RAV4 in there?
I don't know.
Is it Yaris?
It might be.
Yaris?
I didn't look at the Toyotas that are in there.
I hope so.
I did peruse the car list a little bit though. There's obviously some exotics, and then there's some normal everyday cars. The Focus RS is the European turbocharged sports Focus. So
It's a
Okay.
PC beta.
oh, it's PC only.
Yeah.
Okay,
You signed
we'll
up.
sign up for it.
Well, I
and,
did.
and then one of us will play your.
Yeah.
I thought it was PS4.
No, I'm sad. Oh well. No, it's day one buy for me too, Dan.
Yeah.
I did not hear good things about Drive Club.
Oh, really?
No.
Other than graphics?
Well, I don't even think we should talk about graphics in these games anymore.
Yeah,
as far
because
as car
they
games,
should be good.
If it doesn't have that, for the love of God,
Yeah,
at very least.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's no good.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't one I was gonna pay attention to anyway.
I know you said
It's
that.
coming out at a really, really bad time. Shadows of Mordor and Dragon Age Inquisition come out that very same day. So neither, Drive Club's not going to get any attention.
I've been listening. Was Shadows of Mordor shown by anybody?
Just like, I think maybe GameStop, and it wasn't on any of the press conferences. It was showed like later, but it looks awesome.
I was listening to Giant Bomb today. They were doing their day 3 final wrap up, and from what people were saying on there, that was a couple of their favorite games at the show.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I watched maybe 10 or 15 minutes of some gameplay from it, and it looked
I
great.
didn't know that like the head orcs were all like procedurally generated.
Yeah.
So it's like different
It's
every
different,
time you get
yeah.
on. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And they remember you.
yeah,
That's so cool.
it's looking great.
And they get like promoted for killing you. So when you see them again, it's like, oh fuck this guy.
Yeah, I got to take him down this
Yeah.
time.
That game sounds pretty awesome.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really excited for that one.
But anywho,
Moving on, next was Assassin's Creed Unity. Obviously, we talked about this before, set during the French Revolution. They had a cinematic trailer showing Uprising and multiple assassins working together. They have a gameplay video, too, after the cinematic trailer, which shows kind of the scope of the game, which Corey talked about earlier, all the people, the huge world. It really makes it feel like the people are pissed off and they're rising up against the monarchy, you know. That was really cool. I put the amount of people on the screen was insane, and then I put cray cray right after that because it was there was a lot of people on screen. I was very, very surprised by that.
I haven't even seen the trailer or anything for it.
It looks good. It's going to be how the controls are for Assassin's Creed for me.
I know if I watch the trailer, I'm
You're gonna-
going to pre-order it.
Oh yeah,
right
you're gonna get very excited because even me, who I'm like, no, Assassin's Creed sucks. I'm like, that looks really good.
I mean, I hated 3. I got pretty cold on 4,
Yeah.
and I know when I see Unity, I'm just gonna pre-order it.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey, no, they revamped the tailing missions, so that's at the very least a
that's pretty
step in the
big.
right direction.
Yeah, that's pretty
the
big.
climbing did look a little sleeker too, I thought. And Jake said something about that in the
Yeah.
chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
does it?
I'm just
A little more
hoping.
fluid.
I'm hoping. Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right. I'm hoping you don't get stuck on fences and stuck running up walls and all that stuff. I hope they
Oh, that's
iron all
frustrating.
those issues out. So that was Assassin's Creed. Shape Up was next on the list. It's an exercise game. They showed a few different games you can play. It's an exercise game. Didn't have much interest in that. Then they showed Valiant Hearts cinematic trailer. I didn't know this, but it's inspired by the letters sent back and forth between soldiers and their loved ones during World War I. It's amazing. I probably have said that before, but that struck me when they showed it on the trailer. They're also having some sort of tie-in with a documentary that's coming out on World War I, because this August is the 100-year anniversary of World War I.
Wow.
So
That's cool that it's tying in with the documentary.
yeah, very cool. It made me squee. I put. I got misty-eyed at the end too.
Really?
I cannot wait for it.
That's soon, right?
25th of June.
Oh, that's really soon.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That
Yeah.
game looks awesome.
Yeah. I'm very, very excited for Valiant Hearts, and the trailer just solidified that for me. Yeah, misty-eyed at the end. It was very, very touching. The music, I think they used the same music person that did Child of Light, because it had the same kind of feel to it. So I
Really?
think the music is going to be as good for Valiant Hearts as it was for Child of Light, so that's a good sign. And then last but not least, for Ubisoft, they announced, at the end I guess, Rainbow Six Siege. They showed a multiplayer mode with a battle over a hostage. Featured in that were destructible environments, like walls, windows, floors, and etc., getting shot up and blown up, which should have been done sooner, I thought, you know?
Yeah.
This is a sickening trailer.
Yeah, we should probably get into that. There was a lot of controversy over. One of them I think was not legitimate, but one of them was okay. But the one Corey's talking about, there was an article on GameStop about the sickening portrayal of women on the Rainbow Six Siege trailer.
Is this, Corey, the trailer you're playing in the chat? Is that the one that they're talking
This is
about?
the one.
All right. I haven't seen this.
Look at how disturbing it is.
Well, the hostage in question is a woman
Okay.
who is scared, obviously.
Well, I would imagine.
Well, I think I put in my when I was talking to you guys about it. I'm sure if someone was trying to kidnap
looks
me
good.
with guns in my face and is yelling at me, my pants would be filled with pee and poop.
I would do whatever they
piss
told
and
me.
shit.
Exactly, I would be crying and curled up in a fetal position on the floor. You know, like
Sure.
I don't see how anything she's doing is making her seem weak. But that was the gist of the article on.
In this setting that I'm watching right now, who would just be calm and collected?
Yeah.
That's not trained military.
Oh, I'm gonna fight these guys. You know, like no, she's a civilian. Corey, I know you want to chime in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's actually really disturbing how they objectify a woman like they do in this trailer. It is absolutely they treat her like an object, Dan. All she can do is just run to the closest person next to her.
Yeah, I don't know. I was very put off by that article. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
This game looks pretty cool.
First off, these graphics look fucking amazing. We should touch on that, and then move back to this lousy article.
Yeah,
But
that was the only this person on it was on GameSpot. He was the only person that said anything about that specific issue the entire time.
She's
can't-
not doing anything to protect herself.
of course she's not. What the fuck is she gonna do? She's surrounded by guys that have guns.
The developers are treating her like an object.
Yeah, she's a terrorist, or I'm sorry, a hostage to terrorists. Like,
No,
who-
I'm totally trolling. If you can't tell, it is an absolutely ridiculous article. I don't think anybody believed a word this guy. I don't want to call him out, but I spent substantial
Should.
time reading the article, watching the video, and even in the article, he's like, "They may have male hostages too, but in the trailer, all they showed was a female. So I'm going to go ahead and rip it apart as sexist and all this bullshit."
Yeah,
I'm fucking
really
sick
depressing.
of this. I really am sick of this.
If I was Ubisoft, I'd be like, all right, well, I won't do next E3.
yeah. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
If people really latched onto this article and went with it, I would be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. Screw
Well-
you guys.
What were the comments like?
They ripped into the guy.
Yeah, they ripped him pretty good. They're like, yeah, this is a good example on how to commit career suicide, all that kind of stuff. So, like, no, the masses didn't latch onto it. It was just silly. It's one of those things that is trying to latch on to the sentiment of the times, and it was way too much, and it sucks because
It was contrived, is how
it was very
I
contrived,
felt.
and it sucks because this trailer was like this gameplay trailer was actually really cool.
Oh,
This game
God, it
looks really cool,
It looks awesome.
I'm going to buy it.
and for them to rather than write about how cool the game looks, write about how a woman is the hostage and how that's a terrible thing, it's depressing, really.
Yeah. I was heartened a little bit that no one agreed with them, and you know they also took a little flack for Assassin's Creed. Like apparently you're not able to have a female avatar in Assassin's Creed Unity, but they came out and said that it was going to be too much work to do it, which probably wasn't the right thing to say. You know,
I heard on Giant Bomb,
right?
a guy that used to work for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, said it would
making-
take 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days probably.
So they called BS on that, but I think the Gimli, get off my cord. Yeah, I think what their thought is that you are like when you're playing co-op with your friends. When you're playing the game, you are the assassin. I don't remember what his name was, but you're the assassin. Other people will view you as like a random assassin. You're not the main character in other people's games. So really, there's no point in having a female assassin if you yourself are just playing as the hero of Assassin's Creed. You know, so I see their sentiment. Like I understand. You know, it's probably time for a female lead in an Assassin's Creed game. That's fine. I just think that was maybe the wrong battle to pick. You know, not having a female avatar in Assassin's Creed co-op. Right?
I'm just so sick of this whole bullshit argument. I really am. Like, I'm watching this, and the female just comes up again, and she's getting kind of tossed around a bit by the terrorists, but, like, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
She's not going to be able to defend herself in a room full of guys with guns.
No.
And nor would a man or a child.
No, my God.
Which Ubisoft said, you know, there are other situations where people that aren't women are the hostages. And for this article to come out, it's I don't know what they were trying to do, honestly. I think I texted you guys, and I'm like, I think people are just so desperate to prove that they're, like, modern. I don't know. I don't want to get into it because it's going to make me sound like I'm some kind of asshole. But it's getting to the point where it's silly now. And again, this game is so cool and it looks awesome and
does.
it's sad.
It's a pussification of America.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's just
No, it
is. Come on.
It is. Everybody's so goddamn touchy about everything. I'm really sick of it.
The problem is though, there's not even anything to be touchy about.
Exactly, and that's why it's awful that it's getting touchy with everything because there's nothing to be touchy about ever.
Word. But anyway, it did look cool.
It looks fucking
Is
awesome.
this coming out this year or no?
I don't think so.
This is pre-alpha footage you're watching.
yeah.
God. So yeah.
Man, that looks good though. That was multiplayer.
Yeah, 2015.
And we should also mention the sniper who was actually playing the game and saved the day multiple times was a woman in that trailer.
yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Reading that.
And they had women in the Division trailers. I don't know.
Kotaku had an article about there not being enough women too.
Well, that's basically what their website's turned into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
that's everything on that, right?
I think so.
And like I said, I understand some of their arguments, but
Sure.
I think that
But
was
not this one.
No, that was the wrong battle to pick. Far Cry 4 is another one that's been under controversy because people thought the bad guy was a white guy with blonde hair lording over Asian dudes, but obviously he's not. He's an Asian guy with dyed blonde hair. And if you watched any of the video, you would know that. But that's another
They
thing.
probably just jumped right to that conclusion.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it wasn't even games media people. It was TMZ. It was TMZ
Yeah.
that did that. There's quality news organization
Doing
right
God's
there.
work right there.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Ubisoft. Again, not a ton there for me. The crew looks good.
Sorry, Ubisoft.
Hey,
Yeah.
we feel bad for you
I
guys.
do
Really
feel bad.
sorry.
Yeah, your game looks awesome, and that's what should have been focused on.
Super excited for Valiant Hearts.
Oh yeah.
So, Corey, did you watch Ubisoft? Am I the only
No.
one that watched Ubisoft?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I know everything they announced, and everything they announced, I'm actually really excited for.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Way better than EA.
No, God,
So,
not even close.
all right, Eric.
Do you mind if we take a break real quick?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
We can take a quick break. We'll be back with Sony right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 151 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now up to our Sony conference. Eric, take us away.
Okay. My pleasure, Dan. I thought Sony started their conference really well with a trailer for Destiny, which we're going to talk more about gameplay of Destiny because Will, Dan, and I all played the alpha, which was announced at the conference to come out for PS4.
Yeah.
This
Starting
current
Thursday.
weekend. Yeah, started Thursday and goes through Sunday, I think.
I hope it goes
I'm
into
hoping.
early Monday.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least goes through Sunday so that Will and I can play tomorrow morning. They announced that the beta is going to be July 17th. And they also made the announcement of the white PS4 Destiny bundle with a white controller.
The white PS4 looks awesome.
What do they call it? Glacier White?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I actually talked to a guy at work that thinks he's probably going to get one. So,
Nice.
yeah, it makes me depressed that all this stuff comes out after I already have one.
Yeah,
You know
I'll
what I
launch
mean?
one too.
Yeah.
Hopefully the failure rate's not going to be high on those.
Yeah, that would be wise. Yeah, so I thought they started out really well with Destiny. Then they went right into The Order, which I was excited about because we hadn't heard too awful much about The Order or really seen too much, especially gameplay-wise. Lately, the only thing we had really heard was complaints about it being 30 frames per second. I thought that it looked really good.
It does look really good.
I said that it looks fantastic graphically, and we talked about this previously with the 30 frames per second thing. They said they were going for more of a cinematic look to it, and I think it really looks good.
Yeah.
It was really creepy trailer, which I didn't think it was going to be as creepy as they made it seem in that trailer.
Yeah.
Kind of built up suspense as the character was walking around, and he runs into an undead werewolf, which was awesome and terrifying, and I'm really excited to hunt them in The Order. That's a day one buy for me. Dan?
Oh yeah.
Will?
Yeah.
Yes. Then from there, Sony went into Entwined, which is an indie game. I was trying to figure out a way to describe this game. I said think Flower in a trippier world for stoners, and it was funny because Dan texted me and said something about there's their stoner game, and I had literally just put in my notes that they had their stoner game covered when he sent that to me. It's about, I think, a bird and a fish that are in love, but they can't be together, obviously. And I guess it's how, I don't know if it's their journey to find each other, but I guess it's controlled by the left stick and the right joystick. And
I thought Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. It's a little bit like that.
Controlled like that, and you follow along this path on your screen with each joystick. I wasn't going to get this game. It was announced that it came out right then at the announcement, so that's a cool thing that they did. But I looked at Metacritic scores, and it's gotten really high scores. I think it was an 8.9 from users.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Stoners.
Well, yeah. I think I'm going to buy it, though.
Okay.
$10?
Yeah, it's not very much.
Yeah, it was $10.
$10.
Yeah. Corey, what do you think of that game?
It's cool. I thought of flying origami.
Yeah, origami, flower, flying, pixely, high. That's a game for you if you're into that origami while you're high.
Hedgehogging.
Yeah, hedgehogging. Next, they went into some DLC for Infamous Second Son called First Light, coming out in August, and it has a female lead character. Oddly enough, I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, she's in the game.
Oh, she is. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't play enough of it apparently, or maybe I did.
No.
No.
Well, you get her. She has the neon power.
No,
Yeah.
didn't get the neon power.
Okay.
Okay, so a character from the main game is
Yeah.
going to be the lead character in the DLC. What did you guys think of it as Infamous fans?
I'm gonna get it. I traded in my copy of Infamous, but you don't need it because it is its own standalone game.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
mention that?
And I did not.
Yeah,
I don't have it in
it's a standalone game if you don't own Infamous, so that's cool. So I'll get it because I traded in Infamous.
here. I didn't know that.
So
Next game. Actually, really excited for this one. Little Big Planet 3.
yeah,
I thought it looked awesome,
It
and
does
I
look
actually watched
awesome.
a little bit more on it, and I was even more excited. This is obviously PS4 exclusive. I've only played a little bit of the Little Big Planet games. They're really interesting. Fun-looking co-op puzzle platformer. The people demoing it probably should have been a little better at it, I thought.
yeah, they weren't very good.
Kind of dragged it out a little more than it needed to be. I thought if they had people that were good at playing the game, it would have been pretty spot on time-wise, but it kind of dragged a bit. Different characters in this that you can play as. I kind of thought of Thomas Was Alone, where each of the individual characters has their own special ability. One of them can fly, one of them is large and can shrink to be small. I don't remember what the other one
The
was.
dog that can climb and wall jump.
Okay, yeah, the dog climbs and wall jumps. But yeah, it's looks like a really good co-op game. I thought of Dan and his wife immediately. I could definitely see them enjoying this one quite a bit. Again, a day one buy for me.
Killer theme song.
Was it?
I remember
Had a
liking
really
it.
cool theme song.
I remember liking it, but I can't hear it in my head right now.
And you can play the entire backlog of the player-created levels from the first two games.
Which is awesome.
And he said there's millions of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some gems in there.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully they have a rating system too, so you can sort through the shit.
Yeah.
Release supposedly holiday this year, so that's another good one to look forward to later on this year. Hopefully. Next, Bloodborne, which was I guess previously known as Project Beast, worked on by the good folks over there that made Demon Souls.
From Software.
Right, From Software, new IP, exclusive to PS4. Right.
Yep.
Looks terrifying. It looked like Halloween on steroids to me. Like
Yeah.
just super like crazy looking scarecrow guys and just gruesome like zombie dogs.
It looked like Dark Souls in like a Victorian London setting.
Victorian London on Halloween.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Supposedly a 2015 release.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for that one. I guess there's going to be guns in it, a little more modern as far as weapons go. If you're familiar with the From Software products, did you think it was awesome?
I thought it looked cool. I was more impressed by the leaked gameplay videos that I saw floating around. The cinematic trailer looks cool and everything, but yeah,
They showed a little gameplay, didn't they?
I don't recall.
I think they showed a little bit.
I had a hard time watching these because like I said, I was battling with the
that's
kids
right.
the whole time, and this one was during bedtime, So I kind of had my tablet and was watching it on my tablet and trying to put the children to bed at the same time. So I might have missed that
Fair enough.
from it.
Either
But
way,
yeah, it looks great.
I'm really, really excited for that one.
Yep.
Should be awesome. Next, they went into some Far Cry 4 gameplay. This was honestly like the first gameplay that I had really seen for Far Cry because I didn't catch the Ubisoft.
They didn't have any gameplay. It was just cinematics.
Oh, okay.
So-
Well, there you go.
This was much more impressive, by the way.
Oh, man. I can't tell you how excited I am for this game, and I really hope it doesn't get delayed.
Yeah.
I think it probably would have already. Maybe.
Well, Ubisoft is the one that delayed Watch Dogs a month before it was supposed to come out. But, it's different.
I hope they don't do that.
Yeah.
This game needs to come out this year. I think that's probably the biggest draw for anyone this year, personally, later on.
Yeah.
Looks gorgeous. The setting is amazing. When he goes gliding through the Himalayan mountains in his wingsuit and drops into a field of elephants that you can apparently ride, man. I mean, you can't really ask for too much more.
No, that's exactly what you want from a video game.
Yes.
And I'm almost under the impression that you might be able to join the bad guy and do bad things in Far Cry 4.
Really?
I got that impression from the cinematic trailer because at the end he says he wants you to come to a party of his, and then you're going to get together and blow shit up. I think is exactly what he says. So that makes me wonder if you have the choice of kind of joining with this guy or becoming enemies with him. I think that would be awesome if you could choose to be a bad guy and do bad things.
Pretty cool announcement that they attached to this. Freaking notes here. Yes, invite your PSN friends to play with you even if they don't own the game, only on PlayStation. That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
So I guess how it's going to work is you're going to be able to invite up to 10 friends to play Far Cry 4 with you, co-op. They showed off a little bit of that during the gameplay trailer. It looks fantastic. And I can't believe they're letting people that haven't bought the game do it.
Yeah.
I guess I read that they're trying to do it in a way that it's not going to give away any of the single-player stuff. It's just it's going to give them a good feel for the game, and hopefully they're going to want to go buy it, basically. But that's pretty cool that they're going to let you invite friends to play it that don't have the game. You do not see things like that too often. I think that's a pretty good get for Sony on that one, especially for that game.
And also,
really
I
good.
think it's a great idea, and more games
yeah.
should do something like that.
And I'm sure they will now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really like
Yeah.
the first game we've seen do that, isn't it?
Yeah, Ubisoft is maybe hopefully laying the groundwork for that happening more often. That would be great.
Because think about it, like if somebody's on the fence or has never played a Far Cry game,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Steam kind of does that with family sharing, but
but console wise,
yeah.
if somebody hasn't played a Far Cry game, they jump in with a buddy, they're gonna love it because it's fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
they might very well just go buy their own copy so they can get in the single player and put that 30 hours into it. You know.
Yeah.
Then Sony went into the fan letter segment, which was kind of cool at first. It dragged a little bit, but I thought it was kind of interesting how they did it. It was supposedly letters written in by fans telling Sony what they were looking for game-wise. So they started out with a trailer. I didn't know what the hell it was at first, but it turns out it was for Dead Island 2. It was kind of like a comical trailer. It was supposed to be really funny and witty, I guess. Did you like it?
I missed that part.
You
I
did?
didn't
I liked
see
it,
that
Eric.
part.
I actually loved it, and
I
I
liked it,
laughed
too.
out loud a few times, which is pretty out of the ordinary for me watching stuff like that. I thought they did a really cool job with the Dead Island 2 trailer, and I would recommend watching it if you have, especially Dan. You should definitely check
Okay,
it out.
I will.
They
really
announced
good.
a 30-day beta only on PS4 for Dead Island 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't know that. I saw the trailer, but I didn't know that.
Yep. Here's my thought about this, though. We've got Dying Light coming out. Basically the same game, but it's got parkour.
Yeah.
Do we need two of those?
No, we don't.
Right. And you know I wasn't a fan of Dead Island 1, personally. I thought the beginning was really cool. And
After that, it dropped off. Like
yeah,
a
I
stone.
stopped playing almost immediately after I left there.
Yeah.
But
I saw today Techland claimed that they're two very different games. Who knows? I mean,
just solely based off of this trailer, I want to play it. Because they
Oh.
did such a good job with the trailer.
yeah, right?
But check it out if you haven't. Really funny.
Yeah.
After that, I finally got my long-awaited release date for Diablo 3.
Hey.
August 19th. and they are doing something kind of cool that I think it's cool. At least I don't see what you guys think about it. They're infusing some of the enemies from Last of Us, like the clickers, are going to be monsters in Diablo 3.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool?
I like that.
I thought it was kind of neat.
That's something that's like really small, but like it's so cool
It's
that they
something,
do that.
Yeah, we're going to be running around and be like, fuck, it's a clicker.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's awesome. We just killed a clicker in Diablo 3. So that was really cool. I thought that was a nice touch. Corey, do you think that was neat?
I agree. I'm all about Easter eggs and those little viral touches here and there in games. I love that stuff.
I always wonder like what you guys are going to think because I listen to a lot of video game podcasts nowadays, and they were kind of shitting on that idea a little bit.
That's fine.
Well, they're
There's
jaded
nothing wrong with
assholes.
Yeah, Corey's right. But anywho, after Diablo 3, really excited for that, by the way. Can't wait for that. Day one buy for me. Battlefield Hardline gameplay, so some more Battlefield. All I wrote, we're not going to talk more about that. All I wrote was I find myself really pumped for Battlefield again all of a sudden. So that's a good thing. I thought they did a really good job at E3 with Battlefield Hardline. They started talking more about Destiny after that, about exclusive in-game content on launch day for Destiny that's only going to be on PS4. I don't know as if they touched on what that content was.
I don't recall.
Maybe some gear to launch with.
Yeah, probably.
Which
Starter
is
weapons.
fairly important, to be honest with you, from what I've played.
Yeah.
Then they announced a new partnership with Paradox. They're working on, I can't remember how many new games. I want to say 6 for some reason.
Sounds right.
For Sony, the first of which is going to be Magicka 2. That was another comedy-themed trailer.
Yeah, that was
Did you watch-
that
you
was
did
good.
see it? Yeah.
I did see that part.
I thought that was good, too, and I
Yeah.
heard people shitting on that. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. And Magicka, I actually have Magicka for my laptop. I bought it on a Steam sale for really cheap.
Okay.
I'll probably never play it.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I was like, oh, shit.
Paradox is one of my favorite publishers.
Oh, cool.
They do Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis.
Oh, so that's good for you then.
Yeah.
Were you excited to see their team with Sony?
Oh yeah, because they're coming out with that RPG, that Viking-like RPG.
Oh, yes.
I
I hope that comes to PS4.
It might. Very well might.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. I didn't know that they did all those. What?
I was just watching I saw at the press conference, but rewatching the Magicka trailer, it's like 1,231 days of unemployment.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was good.
I did too. I thought it was really funny. The next one, a game I've never heard of, but I am all of a sudden really excited about it because everybody else seems to be. They're remastering exclusively for PS4 and Vita Grim Fandango.
Huh?
Do you guys know anything about this?
No, but here's the thing.
It's from Disney, correct?
No, Double Fine.
Well, is it involved in Disney somehow?
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
It's a Tim Schafer thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The funny thing with that is they were reading a letter, the Sony letters thing. It was supposedly from Sally.
Yeah.
And they
10-year-old or 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, saying how she wanted to see, quote unquote, she wanted to see Grim Fandango remastered for the PS4.
She wanted to see Tim Schafer game remade.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. And they had a picture of Sally. I think Sally was the name, and they zoomed out a little bit, and you could see the knuckle of the person that was holding the letter, and it was a hairy knuckle, and they made a thing of that, and they zoomed out, and it was Tim Schafer,
Dan said hairy knuckle.
who had written the letter from Sally,
Yeah.
saying he wanted a Tim Schafer game remastered for the PS4. So that was also
Do you guys
really
know
funny.
anything about this game?
No, I haven't played it. I knew about it when it came out, but that was many moons
It's
ago.
the one. This is all I know about it. I never played it. I don't really know anything about the gameplay, but it's the one LucasArts game that everybody really, really loves.
Yeah. It was pretty big.
Well, I'm excited about
back
it.
in the day, yeah. I love Double Fine's games.
Yeah.
You know, they're all good. So
Did they do Bastion?
no, that's
Supergiant.
Supergiant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what does Double Fine do?
Double Fine did the Broken Age.
Okay, I didn't play that.
Psychonauts.
Okay.
What else? Costume Quest.
That Sesame Street game for Connect.
Brutal Legend.
Okay. They've got some known ones.
Yeah.
Tito in the chat says it's supposedly one of the best point-and-click games.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
From there, Sony went into their indie montage. Was actually really similar to what Microsoft did with theirs, just kind of fast-paced, showing what they've got coming out. I don't know why, but I wasn't able to pay as much attention to theirs as I was Microsoft's, but I did notice the Talos principle, looks really interesting. And Hotline Miami 2, obviously going to buy that one. I thought the first one was great. I heard Giant Bomb talking about a lot of their other ones, and they said that they're all really cool. There was something about Bros.
Oh, Broforce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Broforce.
They all really like that game. I don't know. I thought it was decent. I didn't see as much in there that I liked as much as I did in the Microsoft one. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Talos Principle interested me. I can't remember why. But, Corey, I'd love it if you put some Talos Principle trailer up in the
I can surely do that for you,
in the
Eric.
chat to jog my memory.
I would love to.
While I move on to the next one, Let It Die. I'm very interested to see what you guys think about this one. Let It Die is a PS4 exclusive. This is going to be free to play that I found out later on. It just looks like a super violent and really, really gory, intense game, like slashing, killing people in really violent ways.
I must have missed that one, too.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want it, and I'm glad it's free to play. I just worry when I see the free to play tag and it's not like PlanetSide or an MMO. I'm like, that game probably sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that, but I just do.
Or they're gonna stick their fingers in your wallet for microtransactions. I know you won't
Something.
spend. I know you wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't spend any money on
Definitely
it. but-
not. But the trailer, I mean, it just looks disturbing and really violent and gory. But for what it was, I thought it interested me at
Nice.
very least. The next game, exciting for me as a Journey fan. The creator of Journey's new game from Giant Squid Studios. I think it's one of the people that worked on Journey, if I remember correctly. It's called Abzu, A-B-Z-U. It's an underwater, artistic-looking adventure game. I thought it was one of the more interesting-looking games that I saw at E3.
Yeah.
I mean, just the atmosphere of being underwater.
You just want to play it. You want to
just
see
wanna
what it's all
play it.
about.
Exactly. Like Journey.
Yeah.
You want to play it and explore that world and see what the hell's going on there.
Yeah.
It looks like another awesome game to me
Mm-hmm.
from them. And then I got my best rager. I got my best raging boner of E3 after that.
I'm with you 100% on this one.
No Man's Sky was shown for PS4 at this point. Never said anything about exclusivity because it is PC.
That's not been confirmed yet.
Oh.
They pretty much said without saying that it's going to come out on PC also.
Okay.
But they said it's going to make its console debut on PS4.
Okay. So it could be on Xbone. Not only was the trailer awesome, I loved the dude that came out and announced it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell, like, he was pretty... He even said he was a little emotional.
Yeah.
Being out there, because just think about that.
Yeah.
Like, that game kind of came out of nowhere, all of a sudden, and how many people do you think worked there? 10?
It's
10.
Yeah, it's 10 guys, I think,
10
is
dudes.
in that studio.
And
yeah.
this game is like, I think most people are just like wanting to play this so bad, and people are like, this is a game I've always wanted to play.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, he's out on Sony stage at E3.
Yep.
And he just kind of seemed like he was really thrilled to be there, but the emotions of it, he didn't kind of know how to handle it, so he was just like, here's our game.
Yeah.
This is kind of weird that we're here, but here's our game. I hope you like it.
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing the space shuttle flying in orbit and then just going right down to the land, and your guy gets out of the ship and there's dinosaurs there, and you're the first one to see the dinosaur on the new planet, and it says that you've discovered a new species of dinosaur. As soon as I saw dinosaurs, I was like, I'm in.
I'm in.
No matter what this game is, I need more dinosaur games, and this is one finally.
That's the dinosaur games are something that's not
Underutilized.
ever. Yeah, you're right.
Underutilized. But yeah, I mean, the graphics, just the whole idea of the open world with procedurally generated planets, and everybody starts on their own planet, and I could literally play this game for hours and never see somebody. And while that might sound boring to some people, to me that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And just going around to different planets and seeing what's there, just because.
that looks so cool.
Don't you just want to explore everything?
Yeah, it makes me just want to like not leave the place.
Exactly.
ever.
You just want to get into that. I mean, look at this trailer. If you haven't seen it, please look it up from the E3 gameplay. Oh, God. Corey's got it in the chat right now, and I'm starting to get my rager back. Corey, what do you think of this game?
One of the things, as you guys know, that I like to do is push the other way when there's a popular opinion going one way.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this game looks amazing, but what do you do?
I don't care. You explore. There are objectives, though. I actually listened to quite a bit of one of the developers on Giant Bomb talking about it. Like, when you land on a new planet, there will be objectives for you to go do stuff that will pop up on each planet. There's combat on them, and he said that there will be, like I said, there's combat on the planets, and there's a reason for the combat. He didn't really elaborate, but you will know why you're fighting people on there. But I think it's just more about exploration and discovery and getting lost in it.
It reminds me of like what kind of like what you do in Terraria. You just kind of explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's all you do in Terraria.
Well, I mean, there's bosses, but
Yeah.
Is Corey shitting on No Man's Sky?
A
yeah,
bit.
he is.
Corey, how dare you?
he says
I'm
what
not shitting on it.
His
Like
question
I
is,
said,
what do you do?
I like to push the other way, as you guys know. So I like to discuss the contrarian opinion. There's space combat, yes. But if the game is based on exploration, I think it would be really fun for a few hours. And this procedurally generated thing, like, yeah, it's good on paper, but you don't get enough variation to keep you exploring.
So far.
I gotta say, I gotta disagree. From what I've heard about it, it seems like there's plenty of variation. Like, the developer was talking about how when he was watching gameplay of it, he actually said to the other developers, he's like, I think we have way too much, like, blue sky area in the game. And he said they have it set up so when they're looking at it, they can kind of pan out and see all the different areas in little thumbnails. And there was actually very little blue sky. And he was like, I guess this is not as bad as I thought. And it's just really varied from what I understand. And I don't know, man. I think this game looks fucking awesome. It was my game of the show, without question.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Eric. It's just the thing that attracts me about it is it's you and your spaceship, and you explore. And he said that because it's an online game, that you could run across someone.
But you might not.
You might not.
I love.
I love that too.
See, and I knew
That's
Dan would feel that
fantastic.
way. Like, I could play this game. You really could never run into somebody.
Yeah.
Except for NPCs.
If you're unlucky,
Right.
or lucky if you're me.
But Corey, you don't want to go to a new planet and like be the first person to get there?
I do. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm just saying, what do you do if you're just going to planets and exploring them?
There's
I think
objectives
that's-
on the planets.
But what's the objective? Climb to this peak?
I don't
mean,
know.
Well,
I don't know, and
what
you're
the
assuming
objectives
that.
are.
I mean, I would be satisfied exploring planets and discovering their secrets. There's a crafting mechanism. They didn't get too into that, but I did see that in I think it was an IGN interview. Maybe I saw with the developer, the guy Eric's talking about, that came out on the Sony stage, and he said there will be crafting, like Eric said, objectives, but you're also kind of free to do whatever. He said during that space battle, like, you could have joined in on that space battle and not just flew by. You could have joined in, the defense of whoever's being attacked, or you could have joined the attackers. You could have attacked everybody. And I guess those the wingmen in that were AI wingmen. They weren't actual other people.
I didn't even know this about the game, but Tito in the chat said that you can actually decide to keep your planet a secret and not tell anybody and
Yeah.
not put it on the map.
Yep.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you
It's your own
you
little
have some
spot.
choice.
Yeah, I think what happens is when you start the game, like, your planet that you start on is procedurally generated, and that becomes
Yeah. Everybody
the planet you
starts on their
start
own planet.
and yeah, like, the exploration that happens there is all you, and everything you discover is all you, and then you can go from there.
Yeah, he did say too that the only the more major events that happen in the game world will be I guess submitted to the servers and have an effect on the game. He said, like, if you shoot a bird, he used a specific example. If you shoot a bird, that's not information that needs to be sent to the the central hub or whatever, the server. But the more major stuff, like destroying planets and causing wars or whatever, that stuff will transfer over to other people's games, which I think is awesome.
I don't know. I can't wait for that game. I
Yeah.
really can't. It's when do you think that'll come out?
I'm gonna say next year.
God, I hope so.
Well, it was announced last year,
Mm-hmm.
late last year. So Really, like, because it's procedurally generated, they don't have to create all that content.
Right.
It's all mathematics. So it's really like once they get the concept of the game and all the coding and stuff done for that, it's bug fixing.
Yeah.
Is what they have to work on. And it probably will have some bugs when it comes out,
Sure.
but you kind of got to expect that with a procedurally generated game. They'll iron stuff out as time goes along. But I would
Right.
guess sometime next year.
God, I hope so.
It was announced last year, so like I said, they don't have to create all that content. It's all in the numbers and math and the code of the game.
I can just
So,
see my first time landing on a planet with dinosaurs and just being
Crying.
like, oh my god,
I'm gonna cry.
this is the best thing of all time.
Yep.
All right, we'll move on from No Man's Sky. From there, Sony briefly touched on Project Morpheus. It was really more of a push for their camera
Yeah.
apparatus, which I bought at launch.
I missed this part too.
Okay, they just were talking about the cool things, said that they've gotten a better response about their camera than they expected, and basically you're going to need the camera to use Project Morpheus. That's really all they said. They
Yeah.
didn't give any details about Morpheus at all. They showed a picture of it, which I think has been out for a while now, so most people should probably know what it looks like. They said that they had 2 game demos with Project Morpheus at E3.
I think one of them is Eve Valkyrie, probably,
Yes, I think it was. Yep.
which looks cool.
So, yeah, that's all I said about that. From there, they went to an announcement about YouTube coming to PS4 later on this year to upload of your videos and pictures and all that good stuff. Yeah. What do you think of that?
It's about time.
Yeah.
What's going on with YouTube? Didn't something happen there that kind of people were like, ah, shit.
YouTube was trying to buy Twitch.
Didn't happen, though.
Not so far. I haven't heard anything about it. They put a bid in to buy Twitch.
Okay.
And I don't think anything's happened with it since.
This was kind of where Sony's press conference got a little bit muddy and a
Yeah.
little bit boring.
Yep. Really boring.
Yeah, I wasn't too bored because I'm really into Sony right now, but I could see where somebody would have been. They started talking about how you're going to be able to customize your broadcast. Like, if you've watched people on PCs do broadcasting, they've got, like, a pretty cool setup on their screen.
Images
Yeah,
and-
images and all kinds of neat shit on their screen. I guess you're going to be able to start doing more stuff like that through the Playroom, which I don't ever use. I guess I might start looking into it. but-
Playroom.
Playroom.
Forgot about that.
It's kind of stupid. They also announced 25 free-to-play games coming to PS4 within the next year. We know about Down Below,
PlanetSide 2.
PlanetSide 2, H1Z1, the one I was just talking about, Let It Die. So those are all games I'm interested in. So that's
Yeah.
kind of a good sign. They said that they feel like the future is in free-to-play. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
As long as free to play is making good games.
Yeah,
that's all that
exactly.
matters.
That's really all that matters to us. Then they started talking about PlayStation Now, which I was excited about. PlayStation Now, July 31st, open beta on PS4, which is going to start with PS3 games. I know that God of War Ascension was one of them that they pointed out, and there was another bigger name.
That one right there.
Oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. Your favorite 2-hour video game.
It wasn't even 2 hours.
Your favorite just under 2-hour video game. So you're going to have access to more than 100 games during beta. They're all going to be PS3 games. To me, it seemed like PlayStation Now was still a little ways off,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, because we didn't get any pricing information. I was hoping for like maybe some subscription plans or
I saw some stuff afterwards come
Yeah.
out. Possibility.
$3 to $20 for a game.
Yeah, $3 to $20 to rent a game. That
I think it's
sounds like
buy.
a Oh, buy.
I would guess.
It said rent.
Oh, that's too much.
What I read, it said rent.
That's too much.
I don't know.
Well, would you
like,
guys rent a game for the weekend if it was $20 if you could beat it in the weekend?
No.
Not if it was an old game. Absolutely not.
No. I mean like a newer release.
Yes. If I could beat it in a weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on the game. But really, like, for the most part, I have my PlayStation to play RPGs, you know? Not games you could generally beat over a weekend.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I guess we'll see where they go with that. But PlayStation Now is still a really cool idea. They did announce it's coming to Vita and PS3 shortly after the PS4. So.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's really good for the Vita, especially.
Yeah.
You know, it needs
Having that catalog.
Yeah, definitely. Then they went into the PlayStation TV announcement launching this fall for the USA and Canada, streaming your PS4 to a second television, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get one for my upstairs. I've been wanting to get something like this for a while. It just seems like it's probably the perfect thing for me to get.
Yep.
Also functions with PlayStation Now, another really cool feature. and it's only $99.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
are
wow.
releasing a package for $139. Don't remember what it comes with.
It was that and a DualShock 3.
Yeah, DualShock 3 controller. Yes, that's right.
Because it'll I think any Bluetooth controller will connect to the PlayStation TV.
Yeah. What do you think about that PlayStation TV?
It's a good idea.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Any interest?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what happens with PS Now, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As
Otherwise,
a PlayStation
I'll just
4
get an
owner,
Amazon TV or something.
say you had a PlayStation 4, Corey, would that make it a little more worth it because you can stream it?
Probably not. I don't think that would really play into my decision. I think to me it really comes down to how PlayStation Now works.
Okay.
Yeah.
From there, they went into Mortal Kombat X gameplay, and it is Mortal Kombat X, not 10. I thought the graphics were incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like racing games, though. Don't you really expect them to be really good?
Yeah.
But even as good as I expected them to be, I thought they were that much better. And the environments that the fights that they showed were in were fantastic. It's as violent and brutal as Mortal Kombat ever was. They showed some fatalities that were pretty disgusting.
I liked when they showed the really hard blows, like
Yes.
bones breaking and stuff. That was cool. They would like zoom in and show an X-ray version of like ribs cracking.
Did they
or
do that in
whatever.
the last one? I thought they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't play it.
I'm actually probably going to get this game.
I may.
It looks pretty sweet.
I'm interested in it, but at the same $60 for a fighting game is a lot.
No, but they sold me with this one.
It looks great,
They really sold me.
and I always use Scorpion, and he was in the trailer,
Oh, of
so
course.
in the video, so
I heard some more stuff about that. I guess they're going to like keep announcing different characters throughout the press conferences that are coming up and whatnot. So
yeah.
keep the lookout for that stuff. Then they went into something kind of weird, talking about their first original TV series called Powers. I guess it's based on a comic book of the same title.
Yeah.
It's a superhero detective crime fiction is how they described it, and it's supposed to launch in December. I am a fan of Microsoft and Sony, like Netflix, making their own content. It looked fairly interesting to me. I'll probably watch it because it's there. I don't know. Did you guys see any of this?
I
Yeah.
watched it. I was kind of tuned out at that point, though.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, this part started to drag a little bit. What did you think of it, Corey?
I mean, yeah, I'm into it. If it's good, great. If it sucks, screw it. You know, it's one of those. It's
Yeah.
TV, so it's like
Right.
if it's good, I'll watch it. If it's terrible, I won't bother.
The guy that presented it did a pretty bad job too. I thought. I don't know who it was, but it wasn't great. I think he was just
He's
really
the
nervous.
he's the creator of the series, the comic.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, after that, they announced that Ratchet and Clank the movie will be in theaters 2015. Meh,
Yep, no interest.
not at all. Then they announced the original Ratchet and Clank is coming to PS4 early 2015. I've always thought I wanted to try the Ratchet and Clank games, but I don't think I want to try it on my PS4.
Yeah.
It seemed like more of a Vita thing for me,
Oh, yeah, that would make.
you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Not too interested in that. Then they gave us the Last of Us remastered PS4 release date of July 29th. So that's exciting news for Dan especially, because
Yep.
he's never played it.
I'm looking forward to playing it.
Good, good. Did they ruin anything for you?
I have no idea what goes on in the game at all.
Okay, because they did say there were spoilers right before the fucking trailer rolled.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Again, I was only like watching as best as I could.
Yeah.
I was mostly looking at like how the graphics looked because they did look a lot better than
Yeah.
the PS3 version, even though that looked really good. The difference is pretty striking.
There was only one thing in there that I felt like could really be a spoiler, but
None
Not-
of it
not really.
none of it meant anything
yeah,
to me.
that's good. As soon as they said that, I was like, shit, I hope Dan turns it off.
No.
From there, they went into Metal Gear 5. What's it called?
Phantom Pain.
Phantom Pain trailer. It was really just cinematic, right? No gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long cinematic. Was this? Did they have the live instrument, or was that just for Dragon Age?
Couldn't tell you.
I want to say they had live instrument on the stage. I'm not positive about that. I just wrote that I want to love this series so badly, but I just don't right now.
Yeah.
And I have Ground Zero sitting here. I'm going to play it. Dan played it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
That being said, I thought the trailer was really good.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the music. I thought it was really fitting for the trailer. Trailer was really good. I still don't know if I'm going to like this game. I think for people that like Metal Gear Solid, they're probably really pumped for it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people, but the trailer was really good.
Yep.
The big announcement I guess a lot of people have been waiting for, GTA 5 coming to next gen and PC this fall. You can transfer your character from PS3 or Xbox 360 over to the PS4, which is pretty sweet.
Your online characters.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good announcement for that too. So, Corey, were you excited about that? Or
I was so
sarcastic?
excited,
Yeah,
Eric.
sarcasm.
I was thrilled.
Yeah, I don't know why people are so excited about this.
I would have been interested if it had come out in the spring. I would have played it, but there's so many games in the. I actually made a list of all the games I'm going to.
Did you?
And I'll talk about that later. All the games I'm going to get in the fall that have release dates so far. There's some that are supposed to come out in the fall that don't have release dates. But I was never a Grand Theft Auto fan anyway, so
It's
I don't
partially
care.
that, and it's also like this is the next generation. I don't need last gen games on
Right.
new generation
Yeah.
consoles.
Exactly.
Unless there's like their remastered versions or something like that, then I'm into it. But
Right.
After that, they went into another game that I am super excited for, Arkham Knight. That just got pushed back, as we know.
Yeah.
But it looks amazing.
It does look amazing.
I said I'm pissed that it got delayed, but I think it'll be well worth the wait. Corey, what were you going to say?
when he was flying through the city in his bat wings.
Yeah.
I was more
When he
interested in the
gets
Batmobile.
ejected out of the Batmobile?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like when you get ejected, you can kind of call it back to meet you on the ground and just drop right back into it. I actually said I don't want them to focus too much on the Batmobile. I
Yeah.
want it to play a part. I don't want it to play too big of a part. I think it's going to. But regardless, I think the game's going to be awesome. The graphics were obviously fantastic. Scarecrow is making a return.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite Batman villain. He's
freaky.
really creepy. His missions were kind of tough in the other game.
Is Calendar Man coming back?
I didn't see anything about Calendar Man. I didn't find him in the game he was in, the son of a bitch. No, wait, maybe I did.
He's a really good villain.
It was Arkham City, right?
I don't
that
remember.
He was in?
Yeah, I think it was Arkham City. Calendar Man.
What a villain.
They did announce that Scarecrow Nightmare missions are exclusive to PS4. That's kind of a big deal to me. If I was on the fence, that would sway me based on the missions that I played from him before. So I thought that was cool.
You're not on the fence for what platform you were going to get it though.
I'm not.
If you were.
If I was on the fence, I would get
That
it for
would sway
PS4 based on that. And they ended their show. I was a little disappointed because there was rumors about The Last Guardian
Yeah.
being announced, and the dude was like, and to end our show or whatever he said, we have a game from one of the top, directors or whatever, however he worded it. And I was like, please, just hit it with The Last Guardian, and everybody's gonna
Go
just
nuts.
go nuts for it. You know what I mean?
Like last year.
Exactly. And it was. I saw Naughty Dog pop up on the screen. I was like, oh, all right, that's Uncharted. So Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, coming out in 2015. It was just a cinematic. I don't believe there was any gameplay.
No.
I missed this part too.
You did, okay.
Just cinematic from what
I mean,
saw.
I'll buy it because it's a exclusive to PS4, and the Uncharted series is loved. But at the same time, I wanted it to be The Last Guardian
Yeah.
for that buzz.
Yeah.
But it looks like it might have something to do with pirates.
Huh.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, from what I saw, the cinematic, it looked cool.
It looks like Tomb Raider with a guy, kind of.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
So,
You're right.
take it for what it is. But I do love Naughty Dog games, so I'm definitely going to support that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good way for them to end their show. Not for me,
Right,
but in general, I think a lot of people were probably pretty excited to see that. Probably wanted to see a little more from it. But, yeah, so that was the Sony conference. Overall, I thought they did really well, aside from a little bit of the business talk. They started talking about how many times the share button had been pushed and stupid shit like that. But I felt like, based on what happened last year and how strongly they started their conference this year, they could get away with that.
Yeah.
And they ended with more games, so I
Yeah.
felt like it kind of fit in there good enough where it was okay.
Yeah. It was. I thought it was generally good. They showed good games for it. And,
Yeah.
And whatnot. So, Corey, I'm interested to hear your opinion. Being someone that doesn't have a vested interest in one console or the other, which What do you think of the PlayStation conference?
I thought it was good too. I was really into Little Big Planet 3. That one probably, of all of the ones they showed, had me most excited. I thought the Order looked cool. It's good to see Destiny. What other? I'm not too into Far Cry. I think it's cool, but like it's one of those things that I probably won't buy just because I know I'll play it for like a couple hours, get a feel for it, and then not revisit it.
You're crazy.
That makes
you're
me
just-
sad
wow.
for you, Corey.
It's just those aren't my kind of games, and
Yeah.
same with like Batman and even Uncharted. Like I'm just not. I think they're cool and they're fun for a few hours, and then I'm just like I just lose interest and don't finish them. So
Makes
I
me
probably
so
won't get
sad for
them.
you.
But yeah, I really like Mortal Kombat. Really like Little Big Planet. No Man's Sky, of course, was great. It'll be good to see what happens with that Abzu game.
Yeah, what did you think of Absu?
Yeah.
Did you think it looked pretty sweet?
Yeah, I mean, some of the developers of Journey. That's a good sign. Although it's not. I don't think it's Genova Chen who was like the project leader for all those Journey and Flower and
No.
Flow. I don't think he's part of this. So we'll see.
Okay.
So are you leaning one way or the other for console?
Dan, it's just a good time to be a gamer. Honestly, I'm not just blowing smoke or anything. Like I was really happy with all the press conferences, which we'll get to Nintendo as well. But it just got me excited to play games again, and particularly it got me excited to play AAA games again, which is it's been a couple of years since that has happened.
Yeah.
Corey, do you have? I know you kind of talked about this. Do you have like a timetable maybe of when you might get another?
Not
console?
really. Like I always keep saying, I'll probably want to play NHL when it comes out.
Yeah.
It would be great if that came out on PC because then I wouldn't have to think about it.
I don't think it's going to. I don't think
There was a petition going around for them to put it back on PC.
Yeah, because it hasn't been since like 2009 that
It's
they
been a while.
put
I
one
don't
on
see that
PC.
happening.
I don't either. FIFA's the only one that goes up on PC.
Yeah. No, I don't really have a timetable. It's just it'll happen when it happens. But like I said, I'm probably going to want to play NHL. So when's that? Mid-August?
No, September 9th.
5th, yeah.
Okay.
Is that the same day as Destiny?
Same day as Destiny.
Have fun playing that by yourself.
It's good timing.
Corey, if you get it for PS4, I'll be playing it with you.
Sames.
Samesies.
Yep.
We'll see. I don't know.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Sony?
No, me personally, I thought they did really well.
Yeah.
Aside from the little misstep there, but I thought they could afford to do that.
Yep. I got bored during the TV stuff too, but
Yeah.
other than that, it was good. So
I'm more excited for their games than I was Microsoft's,
yeah.
personally.
Okay. Will Nintendo
Tenendo now?
take it away?
Tenendo, yeah.
Nintendo's was actually the next day. It was on the. I think it started at noon on Tuesday. And obviously they didn't have a in-person one. Theirs was online, all streamed on their Twitch channel. It was streamed a few other places, but
Yeah, it was their not E3 presentation.
Yeah.
I didn't see it live when they put it up. So basically, I just went on I used Destructoid for most of it to keep up in Kotaku with what they announced. So I went back and went through their Nintendo's announcements and stuff like that and clicked through them. So that's how I did it. So I mean, you guys saw them. So mine will be a little bit different, kind of. But they started off with announcing that Miis are playable in the new Super Smash Bros. Game.
yeah, by having I should chime in with this. They had basically a Smash Brothers brawl between Reggie Fils-Aimé,
Yeah.
the Nintendo president, and Satoru Iwata.
But, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Which was fantastically done. It was really, really funny.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that the Miis won't have one central fighting style. They showed off some that were like brawlers, some that had like guns, and some that had some swords and stuff like that. And they have all
They have like classes
different-
now for your Mii Smash Brothers
Yeah,
fighters.
which is cool because I was worried that the people wanted the Miis in the game, but I was really worried that they were just going to be one boring fighting style. But to know that they're all going, there's at least 3 different classes. It's pretty exciting, and that's a good thing for them. And it'll be exciting to have your different types of Miis of any famous person or yourself in the game.
Yeah, someone actually said now I can finally play Goku in Smash Brothers.
I saw that, and I saw Kanye West was another one that people were excited to use.
Well, which
Yeah.
ones did they show? They showed what's his name in Ice-T.
And Abraham Lincoln, which is kind of an Easter egg for a later Nintendo announcement, which we'll get into. But
So yeah, they announced that, and then shortly right after that, they announced that they have their sort of Skylanders thing. It's called Amiibo.
Amiibo, yeah.
And what it is it's like Nintendo characters, and it's got a chip at the bottom of it, like the Skylander toys do. And what it does is your gamepad scans them into the game, and they're coming with the port like Skylanders has that you can put it on. But for right now, that the gamepad is just going to scan the toys, and they'll go into the game. So. And what it does is, like, it has data into the thing, but the more you use it and fight with it, the data of the character changes to, like, fighting styles and stuff like that.
You know what it made me think of is Drivatars from Forza.
Yeah.
It's that same idea. It picks up your personal tendencies for how you play Smash Brothers and stores that in the character.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be coming to the new Smash Brothers game. They announced a few other games that it's coming to. I think Skylanders was the other one that's definitely going to come in this year.
See, I don't...
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart is coming
Mario
too.
Kart, I think, was it Mario Party?
Mario Party. Don't know about that.
See, I would be excited if you could play the Amiibos in Skylanders. Did they say that?
I think I read that it was coming definitely to Smash Brothers and Skylanders, but... Not 100% sure.
Okay, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be, right?
If you could play Mario in Skylanders.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That I would get it for the Wii.
Yeah,
because of that.
I'm already getting it for the Wii U, so that wouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
One of the more Will, you're kind of getting at this, but I just want to talk about it a little bit more to be a little bit more clear on it. Like, not only are you sending information from the figurine to your device, but your device can send information back to the figurine, which I don't think the Skylander stuff does, right?
Yeah, it stores your character's loadout, I guess, and levels and abilities. Yeah.
Oh, so that already happens.
Yep. So you can take it, like, if Will had it for PS4 and I have it for Wii, like, I could take my leveled up Skylander to Will and play it on PS4.
That's such a cool idea, because you could, like, get, like, a Mario figurine, and I don't know, like, my ideal situation for something like this is getting a figurine for, like, an RPG and, like, leveling it up really high and, like, getting it all this badass equipment or something, and then just having this figurine on my shelf that I can point to and say, oh, yeah, that's a level 80, like, super whatever.
That's cool, but I'd be single within a day.
There's a PC version of, like, quote unquote Skylanders that has that similar sort of thing. It has the figurines that you put on the whatever it is. It was recently kickstarted.
Whoa.
And I cannot think of the name of it for the life of me, but I'll see if I can look that information up. Yeah,
I like that a lot.
It's that exact thing. It's a more mature, like, Skylanders, I guess, but it's like an RPG.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, I see people going nuts for this too.
Yeah.
Good, I definitely
Very exciting.
Because I think we've talked about that Nintendo should do something like this in the past, and now
it was
they are.
It was Pokemon though. People wanted Pokemon.
Well, that's what some of the comments on the Destructoid articles were saying.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they started getting into Pokemon with this?
I'm sure they will.
Oh,
Once they, what's the word?
take off.
Yeah. Once it's.
I can't imagine the
Regular.
amount of money they're sitting on with this idea right now.
Yeah.
But
we'll see how it goes.
the next thing that they did is they showed off a trailer for Yoshi's Woolly World. It's announced to come out next year. The game is a side-scrolling video game made by Goodfeel. The game is about Yoshi finding himself in a world made out of yarn and fabric, and it's basically like an adventure exploration type game.
Yeah.
And it will have the support of the Amiibo figurines.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people said, with commenting on how cute this game looks and stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's a sequel to the Yoshi game that just came out for the 3DS, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Was it the 3DS that it came out for? Yeah, it was. So there's that. The next one, which is a big announcement, they announced Zelda for the Wii U. All I'm going to say is it's open world, and it appears to be a cross of Wind Waker and Skyrim.
Yeah. I teared up actually when I saw that, because they showed like a screen, and you could tell what it was Link sitting on a horse in a big field.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's just a picture, and the developer's talking about it. Well, then they go into the video.
Yeah.
And it shows Link taking off on a horse and
Getting attacked.
by some giant thing shooting lasers out of it, and it shows a slow motion of him running onto a bridge, and the thing smashes the bridge, and then he like pulls his bow and pulls out an arrow, and the arrow, like, I don't know, puts like a laser arrowhead on it.
Corey, can you pull that up?
Oh my god, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what's great about the whole Nintendo thing, though, is it's not only like the presentation, or not only the games themselves, but how they present them. Like, it's all very, I don't know. You can tell they're all very passionate about it, and they announce things so much slower, and they like discuss them, and I don't know. It's very unique, and it's all part of the like Nintendo picture that is just. It's sort of romantic.
Yeah. And another thing they did during, and it was like in between the like game announcements and stuff, was they had Robot Chicken with Nintendo characters, where they had like different skits and stuff that they did that were really good. I thought they were. It's almost like the people from Robot Chicken actually did them, and they may have. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really cool. But anyway, continue.
I was gonna say, as much as I want to play this game right now, I want them to take their time with this and make it as good as possible.
They will,
because this game looks like it's going to be incredible.
Yeah,
I literally cannot wait for it. It was one of those games I was like, I'm so happy I have a Wii U right now.
Yeah, my tears welled up in my eyes.
I will have a Wii U before that game comes out.
Yeah, because it's next year,
sometime. Yeah, I would guess late next year.
No, but I'm saying, if I don't, I'm buying it that day.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There you go.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it looked great. The graphics reminded me of Wind Waker, and it just looked so awesome.
Yep. Completely open world. And one of the things they talked about during the video was, and I think they specifically mentioned Wind Waker, like it seemed like it was an open world, but it really wasn't. All they like the individual areas that you go to were isolated, and they tried to mask that isolation by having a big ocean that you sail around in.
Yeah.
But really, like, there was only one way to get into any given place. And this one, they're going for like completely open, and you can progress like how you want to a point, and access areas from anywhere like in the world. Access your dungeons and stuff from any direction is how they put it.
Yeah.
Or the levels from any area. So it is going to be like actual open world and not individual isolated things that are all stitched together.
Not fake open world.
Right.
Like how they usually are.
Yeah.
And I mean, they made pretty awesome Zelda games like that before, so I can't imagine how this one's going to turn out. But it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
The next one was Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. I thought of Corey for this one because if you've played Super Mario 3D World, you will know kind of what the concept behind this game was. Corey would play it as the Toad levels, and I remember him saying specifically how he thought it was pretty cool and fun. What it is like you're in like a smaller version of like a world, and you're Toad, and you can't really jump, and you're like trying to figure out your way to go around and collect all the items on a specific level and avoid getting hit and stuff like that. That's basically the concept behind this game. Mm-hmm. It's coming out holiday of this year. And as I said, I thought of Corey for it because I remember Corey saying he liked that little side mission and stuff in 3D World. So
it made me think of a 3D Fez.
Yeah.
Because you can.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you can rotate the map around to help you see the different puzzles, and there's landscape manipulation a little bit with elevators and stuff. It looks great.
Yeah,
looks cool.
I was I won't be getting it.
Yeah.
But
I probably will.
You think so?
Yeah. It's on my list.
Yeah,
looks cool.
Nintendo has a lot on the list that I want. So after that, they announced Bayonetta 2 is coming out this October, and what they said is that the first game will be included with Bayonetta 2.
Which is fantastic.
I've never played Bayonetta, I don't know much about it, but interested.
I'm buying.
Definitely
Bayonetta
buying.
2. Yep. That's definite.
What's that game about?
It's an action hack and slash game. Bayonetta's like a witch.
What was the first Bayonetta on?
What do you mean? Xbox 360
Okay.
and PS3.
Okay, and Nintendo acquired the rights.
Yeah,
right?
they're Bayonetta 2 is a Wii U exclusive, at least for now. Maybe it's a timed exclusive.
Okay.
I'm not clear about that, but
yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
The stuff that they showed off looks cool. I'm excited for it. After that, they showed off Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. They wasn't a whole lot on this game, but basically
not during the
main
the
conference. They showed off a little bit of it more later, right?
Yeah, a lot of it actually.
But it's basically the follow-up to the Canvas Curse, which came out on the DS. And as I said, they didn't show much in the press conference. They did mention that there's going to be a lot of Kirby morphs.
Yeah.
So, which is what Kirby is.
It's a claymation game. It's all clay.
Oh, really?
Like Yoshi's Woolly World is all wool made characters. The Kirby one is all clay.
Okay,
It's very neat.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can even like see fingerprints on some of the clay model backgrounds. Like that's how
And
realistic it looks like clay. You know.
And I feel
animation.
like we don't ever get a lot of Kirby games. We get a lot of Mario, Yoshi, stuff like that. But I feel like Kirby's games we don't really get a lot of.
Not as often.
Like I put Kirby and Metroid and those in the same category.
Yeah.
Because they don't get as many games because they're not as popular. But whatever. Excited for that too, which is basically the theme for me for a lot of Nintendo's press conference. After this was Hyrule Heroes. They showed off Midna and Zelda.
Hyrule Warriors.
What did I say?
Heroes.
Sorry.
That's right.
But they showed off Midna and Zelda as playable characters, and it's coming out September 26th of 2014. They showed off another character. I didn't catch the person's name.
Zelda.
No, Zelda, Midna, and there's somebody else.
Link. I think those are the only 3 that are announced so far.
There was definitely a different person that was fighting.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's her name? Sheik.
Maybe.
They had a sword, but it didn't look like Sheik.
Couldn't tell you.
No, I don't know. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
I made that up.
If you get the trailer, it's in the trailer somewhere.
At the end?
It's towards the end. See who it is, but it's definitely somebody different.
Okay.
And then can you play that whole trailer? Because I haven't seen it.
All right, but yeah, I'll continue on. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming to the Wii U 2015.
I can't wait for it.
A lot of mechs, a lot of big fighting, and a lot of flying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Looked awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else?
Was that it?
No, there's more. I was just wondering if you wanted to say, because you were very excited about it, and I didn't see a whole lot from it. So.
I mean, they had the, obviously the
trailer.
Yeah, because they announced the name. It was formerly known as just X, but
Oh, it's that game.
Yeah.
it's X.
Oh.
It's it's a Xenoblade game, which I knew that they were going to change the name. I knew they weren't going to just leave it as X. It's Xenoblade Chronicles X. Corey had Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. But one of the things they did, and Nintendo did this for pretty much all their games, is during their Treehouse events that they would stream on Twitch all day, they had 2 separate occasions where they showed X footage for like an hour, and it was just the developers for one of them, and then the other one was Nintendo people that played X, while they were talking about it for like an entire hour.
Oh, wow.
So I saw a lot of the like early gameplay footage and stuff, and
Looked awesome.
fantastic. I cannot wait for it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's right up my alley.
Do you know when specifically it's coming out? 2015, or did they
No,
not specify?
not specified, but
Probably Japan first, and then.
I think it's supposed to come out this year in Japan.
Okay.
And I think they're working on translation and stuff now for the American version,
Okay.
American European version.
So yeah, this is definitely one that we're all excited for here.
Yeah.
I think.
Corey,
Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember just from seeing last year, the little snippet they showed
Yeah.
looked pretty sweet.
yep, X.
And then after that, they showed off Mario Maker. It's a level design game that lets you create a lot like Mario levels, and then you can play them. They showed off older graphical ones and then the newer graphical ones. So if you're into the creative aspect of Mario, then
You can
you'll like this.
swap with the button to the newer graphics or older graphics.
Mhm.
And that didn't do anything for me, but my wife was pretty interested in Mario Maker.
I thought
Yeah,
it was interesting myself.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool, but
I would just be too lazy to make levels. Is the thing.
yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to kid myself here.
Right.
I'm definitely not gonna make it.
Hopefully, and I don't know if this came out anywhere during the Nintendo thing, but hopefully they make it so you can download other people's levels and play them. That would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Nintendo doesn't like doing that though.
yeah they're getting better with their online stuff though.
That's true. I mean, Mario Kart's a good
Yeah,
good
it's very good
multiplayer
online.
game for them. So then after that, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire got a release date of November 21st, 2014. This got me really excited because they're doing how they did Pokemon X. This is how they're doing the new ones, which, I mean, Pokemon X and Y was awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, you've played them. They were awesome. It's nice to be able to have the 3D capabilities with it, doing the battles that used to be really boring, just like still things that would just move.
Yeah.
But now like they're animated and stuff like that, it's just so much cooler, and it makes me like it and appreciate the game more and get a little bit more attached to my Pokemon. But they showed off the 3 starters, last evolutions. They all have Mega Evolutions, and the Legendaries have Mega Evolutions. And then later, another Pokemon was announced to have a Mega Evolution. So, that's pretty awesome. The Mega Evolutions are pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's basically Pokemon on steroids. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then after that, they announced Splatoon. It's a 4v4 multiplayer game, third-person shooter. Basically, the concept of the game is the gun that you use shoots out like ink or paint or something like that, and you shoot like the enemies in the ground and stuff like that. And your team has like a specific color, and what happens is on your color you move around faster, but on the enemy's color that's sprayed on the ground you don't move as fast. And everybody has a human transformation and a squid transformation, and when you go onto the squid you move around faster on the ink than as you would as a human. And that's basically what it is. That's very tactical. Apparently, the people who played it says like if you work together as a team, you'll do really well.
Yeah, the goal is to have the most of the floor covered in your color ink.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
it looks really neat. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that doesn't
Silly.
sound. Yeah, that's silly. A silly idea. But Nintendo, for pretty much all the games that they presented during their E3 Nintendo Direct, had lengthy gameplay videos throughout the thing, and I watched quite a bit of gameplay of that, and it looks good. It
Yeah,
looks fun, looks interesting.
And I
It's
think
a different take on the shooter.
and the people who've played it think it's
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Interested. Yeah, did you have something to say, Corey?
It doesn't feature a Nintendo character that we're already familiar with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a new Nintendo IP.
That's true, right? And then after that, they teased that they have an announcement that they're going to be making later, which a lot of people speculated was Star Fox because that had leaked before. Because
Yeah.
was it Iwata was playing it before the Treehouse event on a stream?
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto.
It wasn't on a stream. Here's what happened, and I actually got to this news story before the major things because I happened to be on Twitter and I saw someone we follow on Twitter had tweeted Star Fox leak. So I clicked on the article. It was an article from Time with Miyamoto talking about Star Fox and 2 other new games that he was working on. I was like, oh my god! So I tweeted the article. Within 5 minutes, the article was taken down. But luckily, I think it was Eurogamer maybe had picked up on it too.
Okay.
So I tweeted that article too. But yeah, I was lucky enough to be on Twitter right at the exact time when one of our followers had tweeted that Time article. So I got to have it out before all the major gaming news sites.
Yeah, and it turns
I didn't break the story, but
Dan you broke the story.
No, I
broke it. And that announcement turned out to be Star Fox. You said that you really wanted them to announce a Star Fox game. And
yeah,
they did.
I said that would kind of make my E3 if they had a Star Fox game announced. And really, it was just an announcement. There was very brief snippets of gameplay, but Miyamoto's working on it and to work with the gamepad controller. So
yeah, I think he said that they're a year off.
Yeah, next year.
But there wasn't a Star Fox for the Wii.
No, the Star Fox for the Wii is turned into development for the Star Fox for Wii U. I guess it never worked out well with the Wiimote. So
Okay. All right, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. As Falco is one of my favorite characters of all time.
yeah.
I play as him in Smash Brothers, so I'm excited to play more Star Fox. Because I never really played a lot of Star Fox. I was too young to play like the 64 one and be good enough at it to be able to like go far.
Yeah.
I'd always die and get frustrated. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to be playing Star Fox again.
But I don't think that was their announcement that they were making.
I thought
That
it was.
That was kind of minor. No, the announcement was for Codename Steam.
Oh, was it?
Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, I have that
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Like at my last, not during the main press conference,
Right.
but like their announcement later. But I do have that, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and then the last announcement for them was that Lady Palutena is going to be in Super Smash Bros. She's a character in Kid Icarus. A lot of people wanted her in the game. I didn't know much about her. She was one of the assistant trophies in Smash Bros. Brawl. So she's a playable character now. I didn't see a whole lot of her moves and stuff like that, but I'm happy to see a new character is announced because I was kind of disappointed to see that Ike was announced to be the Fire Emblem character because I didn't think that he kind of deserved to be in the
Right.
new one. I figured that should be Chrom.
Chrom, yeah.
Definitely. But, so yeah, I was happy to see a new character. I don't want to just see the same, because they said that they weren't going to have as many characters or whatever in Brawl as they had in Brawl or something stupid like that. So when I heard that Ike got announced, I was like, meh.
Yeah, but like they're still announcing characters. Like they haven't
Yeah.
announced them all. There was another announcement for another character like later on.
They haven't announced that many characters. I was looking at all of them. It's only like in the 15 area.
Okay.
My guess is they'll be between 30 to 40.
Wow.
I like a lot of characters though, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine with me. And I guess the other announcement, because this is pretty big, was that the new IP was codenamed Steam.
Yeah.
I have the article on here. There was a lot to write down. So basically, it's a turn-based strategy RPG hybrid and with third-person shooter elements. The story follows an elite task force created by Abraham Lincoln to fend off an alien invasion.
Really?
Yeah.
It's set in London and features a steampunk aesthetic, complete with airships and all. The perspective brings the vantage point down to actual units. The Nintendo hopes that it will take away the apprehension people have about strategy titles and bring the genre to a wider audience. And it's being developed by Intelligent Systems. The
Who
studio,
did Fire Emblem
Yeah, that did the Fire Emblem, which is,
and Advance Wars too? I think, right?
Yep.
People seem to get a Valkyria Chronicles vibe from it.
Yeah, I heard Valkyria Chronicles and I heard XCOM too.
Ooh. You just tickled
Similar.
my fancy when you said
Yeah,
that.
no, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does look
I
really good.
watched lengthy gameplay videos again for it, and very, very interested in it. Corey,
I hate to rush us, and we can spend time on this after. But John Liga, our E3 correspondent, is running short on time.
okay.
So if we
bring
can
him on.
loop him in and just have a quick chat with him about E3, and
Yeah.
then we can go back and talk about whatever.
Sure.
That was the last main thing that I can talk about, really.
Yeah.
The other character for Smash Bros.
Pac-Man
Yeah.
got announced, which is huge. A lot of people speculated that Pac-Man would be in because it's being made by Namco now. So
Right.
I figured he would be announced. So,
Okay.
and a lot of people said that Pac-Man being in the game is exactly what everybody wanted, and he played exactly how people wanted. So that's good to hear. A lot of people are really liking the new Smash Brothers. So.
Yeah. Did you watch the tournament?
I saw a little bit of gameplay of Marth versus who was it? I can't remember who he was fighting, but I saw some Marth gameplay.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the whole Smash tournament. It was pretty good.
Pretty good. Was
Yeah.
there anybody who was really good?
It was hard to tell because when there's 4 people going at it, there's it's chaos, obviously. But when the 2 finalists were battling each other, I was like, these guys are really good at this game.
Yeah. Who were the who were the characters in the finals?
Oh, it was Zero Suit Samus.
Oh, really?
And who was the other one? I don't recall at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, John.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome.
Hey, thanks.
What's going on?
Not much. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Hey, so you're here to talk to us about E3.
Yes, I am, sir.
What do you
Our
got?
correspondent in the field, John Liga.
Yep.
First, I want to talk about the Kings Rangers game last night. I don't know if you happened to catch.
I didn't watch. What happened?
There were dragons and shit. It was nuts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. Don't worry yourself about it. But yeah, dude, E3, fucking everyone's dream. Every 12-year-old boy's dream is to go to E3.
And 30-year-old men's dreams, too.
Yeah, 30, 40. And I've been fortunate to go twice. This was my second time going, and it was just as incredible as the first time.
Okay. So do you have do you want us to ask you questions about it, or do you have a plan? What do you got for us?
Yeah, I don't really have a plan. I just figured I'm talking to a bunch of nerd gamers, and
Yes.
I'm a nerd gamer, and we're just gonna,
Be nerds together.
be nerds together, one and all.
What
A big
what
virtual nerd orgy.
what did
Because that's ultimately what E3 is. You walk into the convention center. It's massive, by the way. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures.
Yeah.
But it's just like the nerdiest groups of people, and they're all in groups. I mean, you've got your industry specialists, all your media who are just kind of, they seem like real adults, but then you've just got like a plethora of the geekiest fucking dudes ever. Can I swear in this thing?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What does it smell like?
The best part about E3 is the number of fart clouds you're going to be walking through every day.
Nice.
Crop dusting going on.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
a lot of crop dusting. It's pretty intense, but
So what
it's just like...
what did you check out
Sorry.
while you were there?
Yeah, so let me give you a rundown of my day. I had the whole day. I actually went down with one of my coworkers, but we ended up splitting up right away because he was meeting up with... he works with these guys who started a headphone company.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember the name of it, but we recorded some VO for them, and they're like including it in their headphones. It's like this gamer headphone thing. I'm not really sure what it's all about, but it sounded kind of cool.
Yeah.
But he split up with me then, and then first thing on my mind this whole week was I gotta try the Oculus Rift.
Okay.
So yeah, I ran to the Oculus booth, and like as I'm coming up to the counter, I'm like, hey, how long's the wait? They're like, oh, it's only 10 minutes now. I'm like, awesome. So I'm like walking to the line, and as it turns the corner, there's already 100 people lined up, and I'm like, shit. But I found the end of the line. It like spiraled around the Nintendo booth, and got in the back of the line, and it only ended up being about 50 minutes.
That's not bad.
But yeah, it wasn't horrible. And I mean, that's kind of the theme of E3. Like, if you want to play the next big thing, you're going to be waiting in line for at least 40 minutes to an hour and a half. So, but yeah, I got to try the Oculus Rift, and I got to tell you, it's incredible.
Okay.
For the first 4 minutes until I got sick, it was incredible.
So you did get
Yeah.
sick.
I did. Well, I'm very susceptible to motion sickness. Like
Okay.
I can ride roller coasters and stuff, but like any 3D something, like I can't do 3D movies. I can't do anything like that where I'm sitting and it's just like my vision is being askewed to me. But it's like I've never felt like I was in a video game before putting on that headset, and you really do feel like you're in the game. It's incredible.
Did you play a demo?
Yeah, so you had 5 minutes. I unfortunately only lasted 4, but the demo I played was
Story of my
it's
life.
it's actually the demo was a game I've heard of before. I can't remember from where, but it's called gosh, what is it? Hot something.
Super hot.
Super Hot, that's the one. I wanted to play the Alien one, but they have only so many stations and they're all different games. They had Super Hot, they had Alien Isolation, they had some Fox game, they had just something else, and like as you're in line, like someone raises their hand and you just have to go to whatever's open. So I got stuck with Super Hot, but it was pretty cool. They sit you down and like everyone gets a person and they say, okay, this is what's going to happen. Like, just get acclimated to your space and everything and look around, and like she put the helmet on and you're just literally in a different world. It was crazy. It was low resolution, which was kind of like I was expecting it to be a little higher resolution, but I guess that was kind of naive of me because it's such new technology.
Yeah,
But,
I think the final retail release is supposed to be a better resolution.
Okay, that's what I imagine.
From what I've heard.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, from what I experienced, I can only see this technology getting so much better and just going to be the future of gaming. Like, she said to me as I was taking the helmet off, she's like, yeah, you know what, not everyone, but most people do kind of feel a little queasiness or whatever, and you just have to kind of get acclimated. And she was saying that she had the same experience, and like after prolonged use, she got used to it. So
Yeah.
there is hope for us motion sickness people.
Nice.
I'm one of them, so it's good to know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited that it's gonna be coming out in that.
Day one
I'm probably
purchase
one of
for
the
you?
I'm sorry?
Day one purchase for you?
Oh hell no! It's
No?
gonna be too expensive for that.
Do you think?
Well, I'm excited that Facebook acquired it, so
Right.
that'll probably help bring down the cost. But
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
Like cost?
They keep saying that. Well, I know the dev kits are like $300, and they keep saying that they're going to try to launch it at the lowest possible price and still like make a little bit of money. So I'm assuming they're not planning on profiting that much, from an individual set, and more hopefully do volume sales.
That makes sense, especially since they've got competition in the Sony Morpheus thing, which I also saw, but I didn't get to use because I didn't feel like waiting in line for another VR helmet that was probably just going to make me sick.
I was going to say you didn't want to get sick again.
Giant Bomb did a comparison of the two. They said they're basically the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Good to know.
Yeah, it
Okay.
looked pretty cool, but
So I watched a little bit of super hot E3 coverage, and it kind of reminded me of The Matrix, dodging bullets.
it's exactly what it was. Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about the game. You step in, and the level that I got to play was you start off in this, it's kind of this fancy 3D world, pillars and everything's white, but you have to basically, you run this corner, and then there's 3 guys in front of you, and they're all just shooting at you. And the way this game works is, I'm sure you've seen the trailers or videos, and it's when you're moving, that's when time is moving. And when you're stopped, time stops. So you're walking down this hallway towards these guys, toward this gun that's in the middle of the hallway between you and them, and your objective is to get that gun and kill them. But as you're moving, the bullets are flying towards you, and then you stop. So you take a couple steps, and this is what made me really sick, because I'm trying to focus on these really low-res bullets, and like my head is shaking, and as you dodge your head, you can actually dodge bullets, which is the really cool part.
It's making me sick hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, like I was like really into it, and like the whole experience, and then I forgot, oh yeah, I'm probably going to throw up in a second. But it was great, yeah, because you can dodge the bullets and get the gun, and it was basically just that, but just I was so enthralled with what I was experiencing. I think it's going to be such an incredible thing.
Nice. Okay.
Definitely wanted to see Alien Isolation, but I did try that later on the Xbox 360, but I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, what else did you see?
Yeah, so I pretty much, like, there's 2 wings for E3, and the one wing that I always start off in is the one that has Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft and Xbox and all that stuff. And I pretty much started there again. That's where Oculus was again. And I spent probably the first 4 hours there. So after Oculus, I went to Nintendo, which is always a fun booth. They've got just all their biggest games. It was pretty much, this year was Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It's so many Smash Brothers
Yeah.
stations set up. They had like a massive screen. I've never seen a TV. It just seemed like one seamless television. I don't know how they accomplished this feat, but it was incredible. And that's what they had their biggest Smash set up on. And like they had a line like crazy all day for people lining up trying to play it. But they had like smaller stations too that I played a couple games on. It was really fun.
What did you try? We just got done talking about Nintendo's new games.
Okay, yeah, so the first Nintendo game I tried, actually, and this is where I ran into Kyle Bosman
Oh,
of GameTrailers.com,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Kyle Bosman from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ran into him at Splatoon, which was actually a game I wanted to try. I saw a trailer of it a couple days before going to E3, and I thought it was awesome, and I played it, and it was pretty much awesome.
okay. Yeah, that's one that seemed very interesting to me. From watching the videos and stuff, it's a new take on the shooter.
Yeah, it is. It's a new, unique take, and it's a very fun take. Got to play for about 8-10 minutes or so. I got 2 rounds in, but the best part about the Nintendo booth is it's like just Nintendo in a nutshell. Everybody is happy. All of their people working there are like super beautiful, and it's just like an adult. I don't know how to put this, but it's like you feel like a child again. It's just like all these grown men and women and all together playing all these really childish games, but it's incredibly fun.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, so I played Splatoon. I played. Actually, what did I think I just walked around and played maybe one game of Smash Brothers at that point, and then I moved over to Sony. But yeah, and the cool thing with the Nintendo booth is they're pretty good with like swag and stuff. So after you play a game, they'll give you something. And this year they're handing out these little, I'm not really sure what they are, but they were like these little foam characters that you put on your sunglasses, your glasses, I guess. I don't know. Kyle had a bunch of them. I got one. And
Very nice.
Let me ask you this: did the swag make you like Nintendo anymore?
the first year it did, and I don't know if that was just because it was cooler swag or if I was just like super excited to be E3, but I don't know. It was just like those, and then like if I played more Smash Brothers, I would have gotten more swag, and I think that would have been cooler. Like if you every time someone would win a round, you would get like a button to go get a free T-shirt, which is pretty cool.
Woo!
Yeah, but I was like not being a Smash Brother like super fan, it was impossible for me to even come in like second.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of big super Smash nerds there. But yeah, so I went to Sony after that, and I ran into Kyle again later on. Just playing, it's really random because this thing is just packed with thousands of people, and to like pick out somebody you know,
Yeah.
just out of the blue, twice even was just a pretty rare feat. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, so he was playing this game called Telos, I think. Have you seen that one?
No.
Eric
Talos,
knows.
was that the indie game? I
Yeah.
said I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The puzzle game, yeah, for PlayStation, PS4.
Yeah.
Is it like Talos Principle or something like that?
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We played that, just talking about E3 and our experiences and stuff, and got to hang out with him for a little bit. And then he ran off to do his thing, which I guess they shot an episode that day, which is going to air. Not to pitch another game. I do. I think his show is pretty fun, and so it's cool to hang out with him for a little bit. But that's where we split it up, and then I went on my way. And I think the next game I played was Drive Club,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
which is pretty cool. So I got a T-shirt from them, and then
What'd you think of Drive Club?
I liked it. I played multiplayer. It was a pretty quick game. Me and some big dude were hanging out, laughing and crashing our cars into each other. So it was kind of I don't know. It's a whole different gaming experience when you're with like thousands of other people and like you just meet someone new every 2 seconds, and like everybody is so excited to be there that you're just like the friendliest person you can be. So like that's my favorite part of E3 is just getting to hang out with like-minded gamers and trying out the latest, newest thing and like just having a blast with it. And then you get free shit, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Drive Club. Again, it was just like a one multiplayer lap. I think I picked a McLaren. But yeah, it was awesome graphics. It felt pretty smooth. I think I like Forza better though.
Okay.
The Forza series on Xbox.
Sure.
So I don't know. I might have been a little biased towards it, but so I wrapped that up, and then I was eyeing. So the whole time I'm in the Sony booth, I was eyeing Destiny, and like it was just like the longest line that I'd seen yet at that point. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe I'll play it later. Maybe I'll play it later. And then I finally came up to him like, all right, I gotta weather this. I need to play this damn game. So I ended up waiting for like an hour.
Wow.
And like it's tough when you're at this thing because there's so much to see and so much to do that you like really try to budget your time properly.
Yeah.
And I just knew that like once I got Oculus out of the way, then the rest of the day was going to be like, all right, I got my one big thing done. I'm going to go do something else cool. And I guess Destiny was that next big cool thing I wanted to do, and it was completely worth it. I was blown away by this game.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't just like seeing the recent previews and like some of the trailers and even like the gameplay videos. It just seemed like another Borderlands, like just another shooter. And I'm like, all right, this doesn't really seem that awesome. They're probably just putting way too much money into this. But
I think that's about where you guys were at, right? Until
Yeah.
you tried it.
Actually, I'm gonna have to leave a little early. Do you want to talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
Destiny, real quick.
Yeah, we should.
We actually got Dan, Will, and I all played the Destiny Alpha on PS4.
that's awesome. You got into the alpha, okay.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you, kind of feeling a little down about it, and I'm
Yeah.
also in the same boat as you, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I can't
It's-
wait for that game to come out. It's a good mix of like you said, Borderlands and Halo. It's a good mix between those two things,
Yeah.
and it blew my expectations out of the water.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really
So-
enjoyed my time with it too.
You
It
did.
was
I
good.
was interested.
I
to
didn't
hear.
like the multiplayer, but the single player
What
was really
didn't you
good.
like about it?
It was multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't care that much for multiplayer.
Yeah, fair enough.
Go ahead,
I
John.
got it. So, and now in the alpha, you can level up and stuff and do the co-op missions as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you can get up to level 8, I want to say. Will and I are actually going to play tomorrow morning together. I played with one of our listeners earlier. We only did the multiplayer stuff together. I teamed up with a random guy and did a quest. But yeah, I've been able to unlock some gear, and level up. I'm level 6 right now, leveling up some skills and all that kind of stuff. Got to use out the
That's
vehicle. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, because I'm a huge, like, that's probably my favorite type of genre is first-person shooters, and, like, just mixing all those elements, like the RPG elements into it is one of my favorite things that the gaming industry has done in years.
Yeah.
So,
I said that it's the first game that I've played that I felt like if you're going to say next gen means it's something they couldn't have done on the last cycle of consoles, this is the first game I played that I was like, all right, this is finally like a next gen game.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Okay.
Sick. Yeah,
What else you got, John?
so I played that, and actually, they gave me this wristband, and they're like, here, go register this, and we'll send you a code for beta, and that was going to be my big surprise for you guys. I was going to give you this beta code, for or the alpha, whatever, but they fucking never emailed it to me.
Oh.
I got, like, some code for an emblem in-game. I'm like, this is bullshit.
I actually got rejected initially for the alpha, but luckily someone on Reddit was kind enough to direct message me a code for the Destiny alpha. So I
awesome.
I lucked out.
Wow, yeah.
But I'll talk about that more later.
Cool.
Go ahead, John.
All right, yeah, so let me see. Destiny. Yeah, and then I walked over to Xbox. So Xbox is pretty much the same size as Sony. I don't know if you guys can like find a floor plan for these things, but these booths are massive. Like, they're just TVs and games and like tons of people, and they're just these $1 million extravaganza. And it's so much fun to just kind of walk through these because they're as big as they are. They all have their like their characteristics to differ each other, and I don't know where I'm going with this part, but anyway, I
think you're going for
I
what?
sound excited, but I'm really tired because I work today. And
Nice. You're going for the feel of the Sony. What was the feel of the Sony one?
Sony, let me see.
Lots of black and blue.
Yeah, that's it's what you expect. Like, Nintendo is like kind of lit really well, like really bright colors, and like it just kind of goes with their characters of every game. Sony was black and blue, kind of a little more mysterious in some sense, and like all the booths, like they all have their similar styles for each booth. It's just the different games, and
Microsoft was Mountain Dew.
pretty much, yeah. Like you walk in there and it's just like green. Like, I took a cool picture of the two booths, Sony and Xbox. Their walls meet, and there's this hallway that goes between them, and it's just like massive green wall, then massive blue wall, and this is Xbox and PlayStation. It's really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, you walk in there, it's just like you're blinded by green, but at the same time, it's just you're blinded by all these awesome video games. And
Can't complain about that.
yeah, hell no. The first one I played was Alien, actually. Alien Isolation. Have you guys checked that game out?
A little bit.
I know very little about that game.
Same here.
You need to know probably more than very little because it was it's a horror game, so it's not like I thought it was just going to be another first-person shooter shitty Alien game. They released like 10 of those in the past 10 years, and they all sucked. But this one actually looks amazing, and it is, from what I played, it seemed really cool. It's you play. I don't know if you play Sigourney Weaver's character, but you play somebody, and you're trying to get to a family member on this massive space station, and you're basically being hunted by the aliens. So you don't have any weapons. You basically just start off, and it's all about sound, and like, which I'm really into. So you're trying to be as quiet as you can, and make your way to different objectives and different parts of the map. And it's all, like, the AI and everything is all fluid and dynamic, so it's always different. The mission that I started in is you pretty much start in this room, and, like, just to give you a feel for the game, they give you, like, some of the better gear. Like, I got the flamethrower, and I got some other... sorry, I'm just distracted.
Is that a cat?
Yeah, that's a cat, sorry. Anyway, so I got the flamethrower, and pretty much it's very geared towards like how much sound you're making, and it's all very dark. And wearing the headphones, like, it blurred out the rest of E3 for me, and I was like just thrown into the game space, and it was frightening, very terrifying. Like, I'm walking through the space station, and like you hear your own footsteps, and then you start hearing like creaks here and there, and like you turn around, and like obviously the soundscape turns with you, and you're trying to figure out what that noise was. Then all of a sudden you just hear like thump, thump, and like this massive walk, footsteps, and of course the music heightens, and you're like, oh shit! So like you're trying to get away, and you can hide pretty much anywhere in these maps. You can hide in lockers, you can hide in like cabinets, you can hide under tables and stuff. And it was, I just gotta say, it was probably the most intense experience I've had in a long time playing a video game.
I have seen some gameplay from this other than what Corey's showing, and it looks crazy. And, you know, like the Outlast kind of feeling, just in an alien spaceship kind of world.
Nice.
Yeah, this is definitely one that I'm going to check out.
Good fit for the Oculus Rift, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, that was one of the demos
pissed
they had,
myself.
and I didn't get to play, but everyone said that was the best one. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have gotten to.
Yikes.
But
So it's based on the Alien movie then, yeah?
yeah, it's pretty much the first Alien, and like the whole art direction is 60s or 1970s sci-fi. So all of the design is like the big clunky analog push button stuff. Very cool. So it kind of puts you back in that retro sci-fi space.
Yeah. That is
really-
very cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. But yeah, it was really intense, and I definitely recommend checking it out and keeping an eye on that. So let's see. After that, I walked over to within the Xbox booth. They had Fable Legends, and I checked that out.
Uh-huh.
And
Did you play as the villain?
I did. I played.
Nice.
That was the last game I played of E3, and E3 ended, and they're like, "Nope, we're finishing this game." I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Nice.
So I played as a villain, and it was pretty cool. I thought it was gonna like watching other people play seemed a little cooler, and then when I actually got into the controls, it was like, "Oh, is this it?" There's not much more to it. So I don't know if that was just because I didn't. He was like kind of rushing through it, so I didn't get the whole experience. But it was fun. I can see it being a fun game.
What kind of things were you, I'm really curious about this game, especially that part of it. What kind of things were you doing as the villain?
So as the villain, you know, you're a top-down view. It's more of like the classic RTS where you're setting up things, and then all the heroes obviously are playing first person, third person, whatever, and they're fighting through. It's almost like a maze, but not really. It's just like this open space, and there's you have your units, and playing on the Xbox controller, all of your units, you had like 4 different units, and they were mapped to the face buttons, the X, the Y, and then you would select your, like at the beginning of the match, you could set up your units on different parts of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And the map is set up in like 4 segments, I think. So like your heroes go through the first segment to get to the second, to the third, to the fourth, which is the last, and have like the boss at the end that you can utilize. But to start off, you have like 60 seconds to set up your map, and it's pretty much just placing mines. And so you do that, and then you can place your units, and then pretty much the gate opens and the heroes come out. And while you're playing, they'll run over your mines, and then they have like different gates that you can lift up and like knock the heroes off on their ass. Or if you have like 2 heroes go past this gate, you lift it up and separate the group, and then you can move in your units to attack them. So it's pretty cool. And then you have an artillery unit that you could also use to just launch bombs into the guys, but they were like kind of timed, and I was really bad at timing when to kill everybody. So
That sounds like
It was-
something that would work really well on a tablet.
it does, and like using the controller seemed kind of clunky.
Okay.
So that actually sounds like a really cool feature. Maybe they will do that.
Smart
Yeah,
glass.
suggestion.
Smart Glass, yeah. Microsoft Smart Glass.
Yeah, definitely. Like what is it? The Division is starting to do that, I think. Or I saw something about that. But anyway, yeah. So that was a fun game. That was the last one I played.
Did anything really stand out to you that you wish you had gone to see? Like, just in passing?
In passing, I think I tried most of what I really wanted to try. I guess Evolve. I didn't get to try that, but I watched enough of it to get very excited about it. That was one of the games I watched at Xbox. I got to check out some of the gameplay mechanics, and it was really cool because it seemed like they're really pushing the team speak focus of it, and just like utilizing teamwork. And Have you guys seen a lot of Evolve?
Yeah, fair amount.
I think I'm probably the most excited for that one.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I'm excited mainly because it's the same guys that did Left 4 Dead, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I just think they got teamwork down in those two.
My worry for that game, and we talked about this earlier, is that if I was playing with people that I don't know, that the teamwork aspect is going to fall apart rather quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that worry, I feel. But just what it is, like Monster versus these guys, I think if your team fails, you're going to hate yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it's really going to force you to want to work as a team. And
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Because it looks
And
fucking
that's-
amazing.
Yeah, and that's what seemed to be happening at E3. Like, I really, or you could notice that all these guys were not friends. Like, none of these people really knew each other that I was watching play.
Yeah.
And they seemed to be getting everything down. I mean, obviously they had like coaches; they were telling them how to play
Right.
the game and stuff. But
Plus, everybody was
seemed
on
like they were
best
happy.
behavior, too, like you said.
yeah,
It wasn't some 14-year-old jackass telling you that your mom was fat or something.
yeah, that's the other worry I have about it. And that's the other, like, going to E3 makes me want to like set up some kind of similar thing where like people just go, like
Like
there's
old school,
this-
like LAN party.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
like old school LAN party, but like make it cool again. Don't make it like these internet gaming cafes where everyone's like, "Oh, you go to a gaming cafe." Just like make it like, I'm not saying Dave and Buster's is cool, but like something that people go to. Like, you see
nobody's
more and
ever
more
said
people- You see more and more people getting into video games, like especially women are becoming big gamers now. Like, I feel like you could have some kind of successful gaming space for the
Yeah.
masses.
Let's do it. Let's start one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's,
I think that's
there's
what-
Barcade in Brooklyn.
Oh, can we go to that when I come down?
Yes.
Thank God.
Oh, there's a barcade in Los Angeles that just opened too. I'll have to check that out.
Totally should. I wonder if it's the same brand, because it started in Brooklyn and now they have one in Manhattan.
It might be.
So I don't know. John, I have one more question for you. I don't know about these guys or what else you have to share, but what about the cosplay? Was there any sexy cosplay?
I was actually surprised there was very minimal cosplay.
Okay.
I saw a number of Mario hats. I saw a number of things that I just had no fucking clue what they were going for, but I'm sure it was something crazy. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, it's like the majority of people there are industry professionals, like within the video games, so they just seemed like normal, upright citizens.
Yeah, I got you.
But again, you had your smattering of the geeky groups, and like you had like the really smelly guys and all that fun stuff. And it's always funny because you have these very hot booth girls in all these places, and then you see all these like geeks trying to interact with them, and I just get the biggest kick out of like how fucking awkward these guys are, and I'm just like, dude, like just like talk to her like she's your sister. You're gonna be fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to you like she's your neighbor,
Friends.
your really hot neighbor friend that you've grown up with and you're very comfortable with.
Girl
Like,
next
there
door.
you go.
Yeah.
What's that?
The girl next door.
Yeah, the girl next door. That's a way simpler way than I was just trying to explain. But yeah, I don't know. It's very sad.
I've got a question, John.
Yeah, go for it.
What was the buzz on the floor about? Like, was there one game or one area that everyone's like, "Oh man, you really got to try this out"? In conversations that you heard around you, or people that you talked to, other at E3, was there a buzz on one particular
Yeah,
thing?
I mean, when you're going through each booth, you kind of get the idea of where the buzz is for each booth. So like Nintendo was all Smash Brothers,
Right.
and like even throughout E3, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, did you play Smash Bros?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I played a couple games. It was cool." And then like obviously Destiny was a big thing, and like the Division, like Ubisoft had their big thing with Division and Assassin's Creed, but it's there wasn't really like a general buzz for anything. It's like you have so many different kinds of people there and so many different games and genres that it's just like every person I talk to is excited about something different.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I definitely push my Alien Isolation agenda on people, and people are like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that game." I'm like, yeah, dude, I just tried it. You should check it out.
I think people are a little bit snake bitten by the past Alien games.
No, I guarantee that's what it is.
Yeah,
It looks awesome, though, really. It looks terrifying.
Nice.
it is terrifying, and like I was one of those people until I played it. Like I was standing behind someone watching them play, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta try this. And
John, do you think you could handle playing that on Oculus, though? I'd piss myself. Honestly.
I mean, I pissed myself. I almost like literally audibly screamed in a room with 100 other people around me, and like things happening all around me. Like it's terrifying. So I don't know if I could handle an Oculus.
Yeah. I feel like a horror game would just be too intense for me on something like that. I mean, it'd be perfect for it, but for me, I don't think I could do it.
You know what game would be perfect for Oculus is Proteus.
Yeah.
That's the one where you just kind of wander around a pixelated
That
game.
would.
trying to catch the dragon.
Just do.
Well, I think that's what that Fox game they had was kind of like it's this very colorful world,
Yeah.
and you're just chasing things.
Lucky's tail.
Chase the dragon. You can,
Chase this tail.
you can never catch the dragon.
Bend your mind a little bit.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Do we have any other questions for John?
No, I think he did a pretty good job of telling us. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I want everyone any gamer that has a chance to go to E3 needs to just flex their muscle and
John,
do it. I mean,
I do have one question for you, actually. I was listening to another video game podcast, and they were talking about, is E3 still necessary? What do you think after going to it?
so I asked myself that. I mean, going to E3, you're like, what is this really for? Because you see all the big booths for Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox, and it's just like everyone that I talk to, like the reason I go to this thing is because I work in post sound for film and television, and sometimes video games, so I can use that as leeway to say, hey, yeah, I work with video games, let me into E3, and that always works for me, which is awesome. But it's like I try to. A part of me goes there to network, and like everyone that I talk to is just like a gamer or a developer for these games.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a publisher or something. So it's like it's very difficult to be like, hey, I have this services, or hey, are you looking for someone to do voiceover stuff? And you run into like, oh no, I'm just a gamer or something like that. So I really have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing experience, and I guess it is. I'm gonna say yes because, and here's why. I was so excited for this, and everybody there is super excited for this, and I feel like E3 and everything that comes from E3 is hype, and it gets you excited again.
Yeah,
for these games.
It's a fan service.
It is a fan service, and it's a fan service for these companies. And I mean, I recently built a PC for work and also for gaming, and I basically wrote
Gaming.
off.
Let's be honest, John. Gaming first, and work with
and
excuse.
also for work.
Pretty much, yeah. But I pretty much wrote off consoles. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get another console this generation. I've got Steam. It's releasing all the games I want. Like, so whatever. But after going to E3, I'm like, shit, I got to get a Wii U. I got to get a PS4. It makes you excited again for consoles.
I'll tell you, since I have to leave early, I'm just going to tell you guys, I think Nintendo was the biggest winner at E3, personally.
I'm agreeing with that.
And, I've been going back and forth on a Wii U for a while now, but, I mean, any reservations I had are gone, and I'm going to get one as soon as I can. And then I will have my triad of consoles will be complete.
Nice. Yeah, Nintendo killed it at this year's E3.
They really did.
And really, one of the best things they did is I don't know if you watched any of their Treehouse videos.
I didn't.
They showed, like I said, when they did their Nintendo Direct thing, they showed whatever the brief trailers and stuff. But during their Treehouse, they had like hour-long sessions where they would show Xenoblade Chronicles X. And they'd be talking to the developers and playing the game at the same time.
Yeah.
With the game on the screen and then a little picture of the developers talking.
That's cool.
And just playing the game, and you get to see all that gameplay footage. And they did that for all their games.
They're such a weird company.
They are absolutely a weird company.
As much shit as we give them, like, they still manage to just grab you by the balls at some point and be like, well, I guess I better get one.
Yeah, they did it right. Definitely.
Yeah. No, I feel the exact same way. I mean, just from being on the floor, I feel like Nintendo was
Well,
killing it.
Now, which console would you get first, John? If you
Probably
had to
a
pick
Wii.
one.
Probably the Wii U, just because it's cheaper and I just dropped a ton of money on a computer.
Well, not just that, but that's the one with all the exclusives. You know, a lot of the multi-platform games will also be on your PC. So
That too, yeah. That is another big thing. Good point. I mean, the only I'm still thinking I don't want another Xbox. I don't see any value to it beyond what I have now. The PS4 I'm still trying to figure out because, again, what you just said, Dan.
yeah,
But I mean, some of exclusives are more appealing to me.
right.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, John?
Gosh, I know there is. I'm drawing a blank because I'm coming towards the end of my wind. But
Well, we'll let you go then.
It's an interesting way to phrase it.
I mean, I'll tell you. Yeah, right. I'll tell you because, again, coming back to the two wings, the first wing has all Nintendo and the big players, and the other one has more of the developers like Activision, Ubisoft, and all those guys. And last year, or not, 2 years ago, 2012 is when I last went. When I went to that wing, it was it just seemed more extravagant and it seemed more exciting. And then this year, there just wasn't much that appealed to me. They had EA Sports
Oh,
and
God.
EA Games and all that stuff. They only had a few stations, and it wasn't.
Well, their
as
conference
crazy.
was absolutely brutal. I don't
Yeah.
know if you watched it.
They had nothing.
I didn't. Yeah. So I was kind of let down by all the bigger developers.
Thought of another thing. I'm surprised none of us asked you. Did you play or see No Man's Sky?
I didn't, and that was one of the things. I had a list of games I wanted to play. Promptly left it at home in my excitement to go to E3. So that was one of the games I forgot to look at. And I don't even know if they had it on the show floor, but I wanted to.
Dude, did you watch the gameplay, the conference at all, where they were at?
Yeah, I did, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, that's the game that sold me on a PS4 and wanting to get one.
Yeah. Looks so good.
It looks amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm sure I'll think of something else to tell you guys. I got pictures too. I
Right.
took all the
Jealous.
pictures.
Write it in. Send the pictures. We'll put them up definitely.
Yeah, I'm not going to send you all these pictures because I was looking through a blog or some Twitter, and literally every picture that I took, someone else took a picture of the exact same thing. So I'm sure a lot of this stuff you've already seen.
Yeah, but you know what? Now they're ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will read the full ownership of these pictures. There's a couple pictures of me playing Yakulus.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
I got a picture of Kyle Bosman playing Splatoon. I forgot. I saw Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he was there. He was doing something, and I, being the video game nerd I am, like you guys, I brought my 3DS.
Oh, Street Pass.
Yeah.
And the reason I did was because I wanted to get a ton of friends on my 3DS because I've never had anyone else that played this damn thing.
Yeah.
So I got a ton of me's in my 3DS world now. It's awesome.
Did you
Wait,
Did you get Reggie's?
I didn't. And
Yeah.
I was so excited because he had a 3DS in his hand
Yep.
while he was doing this thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm totally going to get Reggie. And I checked a couple hours later and he was not in there.
What a shithead!
Didn't get close
Yeah.
enough.
He didn't have his Bluetooth on.
No. Asshole. And the best part was, he was, super chill during his whole presentation. And then, once the cameras cut, he just seemed like the biggest dick.
Oh, really?
All these people ran up to him. He's like, nope, whatever. This one girl started to cry, so he took pity on her and signed something, and then he just left.
Wow,
That's
I'm just
interesting.
like, wow, that guy's as cool as he does.
that's really funny.
Yeah,
Huh.
was
There it
awesome.
is. There's a Thumbstick Athletes exclusive report.
Reggie
Yeah.
is a dick.
Reggie is a dick.
She's not as cool as you think.
Nice. All right.
Uh,
Well, hey, thanks for joining us, John. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that was awesome.
thanks for having me because I have no one else to talk to about this awesome stuff
Okay.
that I saw. So I was super psyched that you asked me to join.
Yeah.
We'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to just get more traffic. I think that's the key because I was talking to somebody else that has what is it? 4Player? Have you seen those guys?
No. Is this another
They
podcast?
They stream on Twitch and they stream stuff on Twitch about E3 every year, and it's all because of the traffic to their website.
Yeah.
Must be
So-
nice.
I'm just saying, man. I brought your cards with me. I forgot to give all my cards as well. But I'm still trying. I'm still trying to get your name out there, and I want you guys to just get into E3 on your own merits and do your thing, because I feel like your type of show is what's missing from E3.
Well,
Aw,
thank you.
thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
It's awful nice of you.
That is nice.
You get all the big guys, and it's just like, whatever. But like, to have just regular, awesome dudes at E3, that's what it needs. It just needs that heart
That's what we're going for.
and a couple fart jokes or two.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Fart and dick jokes.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Questions about sexy cosplay.
Yeah, maybe you can spice up the sex for the cosplay at E3.
We,
Yeah.
if nothing else, we bring a ton of sex appeal to the table.
Yeah.
I'll wear my Gears of War muscle suit.
Nice.
I'll get my thumbstick athlete speedo.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Red on the butt. The logo
God,
right on the butt.
If I walked in and saw you wearing that, John, my life would be complete.
Next year. Hell,
Nice. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break and be back with our other segments right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 151 of Thumbstick Athletes Podcast. We have a little bit more to cover for E3, and then we're going to do feedback, and then we're going to call it an episode. We were going to do what we played and stuff, but it's getting late, and the episode's starting to run a little long, so we're just going to cover the rest of our E3 stuff and do our feedback, and then, yeah, call it an episode. Like I said, we'll just save the stuff that we played for next week's episode and give it to you then. So, Corey, why don't you go ahead? I know you had some stuff you wanted to
Okay,
talk about.
I'm gonna need your guys' help here because I'm really worn out. So, feel free to chime in with questions or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Bloodborne, we talked about already, but I mostly just commented on some other stuff that I was interested in and read people's articles and stuff about it. And apparently, Bloodborne is remarkably similar to Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with. I don't know about you guys.
No, not at all. Different setting, obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
Next generation only, too, which is a good thing. The graphics are a huge improvement, at least from that brief gameplay video that leaked on it. So
Right. And some of what I read was like even a lot of the animations and stuff are the same as you see in Dark Souls.
right.
But it's a lot of the same people that worked on it, so it's to be understood. And I think there's I could have 3 or 4 more games like Dark Souls and be happy.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to complain. Another thing I saw was the Final Fantasy VII G-Bike mobile game.
Yeah. What was that about?
It's the biking mini game from Final Fantasy VII, but with some added features. It's a Square Enix thing, and they're releasing it in the free-to-play format. It's kind of seems like a cash grab at this point.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Right, but I don't know. Like, we'll see. That mini game was very simple. It was just like drive from side to side and slash the guys next to you.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what they added to determine whether it's actually a cash grab or what.
Microtransactions.
Yeah, we'll see. One thing that everybody seems to be really crazy about is Titan Souls, which one of the conferences had a little bit about, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was mentioned briefly in one of them. Maybe Xbox.
Okay. So I watched some gameplay and heard some of the developers talk about it. It's inspired by Dark Souls and Shadow of the Colossus, but it has a very... Oops, my camera just fell. It has a very, like, retro, vintage kind of feel to it. It's almost... It looks like an older, like, Super Nintendo Zelda game. And you wander the world that's open, but there's, like, not any enemies other than the occasional boss that you run into. A la Shadow of the Colossus. But the bosses are really hard, like Dark Souls, but they only have 1 hit point. So it's just it's like Zelda in that you're determining what you need to do to damage them, and then once you do, like you just have to hit them once, and the timing has to be perfect and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's no way to upgrade your little guy. The only thing you improve is your own skills.
I kind of like that.
I kind of like it too. It's a really interesting take. So if you're having a hard time with a boss, it's not go level up and then try again. It's get better at the game and then try again.
I like that.
That sounds
which is really kind of cool. That's out early next year on PC, then eventually PS4 and Vita. And the developer said it was originally the result of a game jam. And the original prototype was made in 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, I like to hear that stuff. That's cool.
That's great.
Fru, we talked a little bit about the Microsoft press conference. It's a Kinect game, a 2D platformer. The developer representative I heard talk about it said it's a combination of Twister and Super Mario, which is pretty good way to describe it. It's really hard to explain. Bear with me, I'll do my best. Essentially what you're doing is it's two people. You both have a little guy you're controlling on screen and on the 2D platformer, and you're standing up, and your silhouettes via the Kinect camera are also in the game, and each person is assigned a color. One guy's green, the other guy's purple, and you have to manipulate your bodies in such a way that your silhouette, depending on where your silhouette is, it will reveal platforms and stuff. So you have to manipulate your bodies in such a way that you're showing the correct platform so you can move your characters through the world.
Huh.
It's really trippy, really unique, but I think could be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's one of those things that you can only do with the Kinect. You know?
Yeah.
Twister and Super Mario. It's crazy, but I really liked it. I recommend checking out that video just so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. Some of the Oculus games, we already talked about Super Hot. John talked about quite a few of the Oculus games. The other one he was talking about was called Lucky's Tale. It's a 3D platformer, and you play as a fox named Lucky, and your head actually behaves as the camera floating behind the character that you're controlling. And you move your head as if it were the camera, which is kind of a weird concept to grasp, but that's how you solve puzzles and like reveal secrets and stuff. But it also kind of solves how a lot of games, well, not recently, but maybe, last 2 generations ago, like camera issues were a big thing.
Yeah.
Recently, I think in the last generation there hasn't been too many problems like that, but it does kind of solve any camera issue you'd have because you're literally moving your head to move the camera.
Yep. So you can put it right where you like it.
Exactly. Whatever works for you. The E3 Horizon Conference, essentially a press conference for indies. I'm not sure who hosts it. I read it, but the name didn't ring a bell. It didn't really mean anything to me. Some of the games they showed was one called Mountain, which is a mountain simulator. I don't know if you guys read anything about that. It starts by asking you 3 questions that you answer with pictures. So Joystick saw, like, the pictures they chose were sickness, afterlife, and beauty. I was reading this on Joystick, that's why I say Joystick. And then the drawings that you pick sort of propagate on your mountain, which is really kind of a strange concept to grasp. PC, Mac, and iOS for around $1. So it is a very simple game. I don't know how much game it really is, but it's sort of an artsy experience, more so than a video game, it sounds.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. Apparently you get to take part in the life of a mountain, and those questions are to design like your mountain and the surrounding areas of it. Yeah. I don't know how that works, but it sounds neat.
Yeah, another one of those procedurally generated things, it sounds like. Another one was Panoramical. This is an audio visualizer. Looked really cool to me. I'm into that kind of stuff. It's the Proteus, the composer for the game Proteus, is part of the project, so right away it's a pretty trippy experience. And that's due out 2015 for PC and Mac. I've been waiting for a good audio visualizer. There hasn't been, when you say audio visualizer, like nobody has like a stock answer for that.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody says music streaming services, it's like, oh, Spotify is like, but there isn't that for an audio visualizer. Everybody's gone to the Rapture. We heard a little bit about this last year, I believe, right?
It was either last year or earlier this year. Was it PAX East where that was big, maybe?
It could have been. It's by the same guys that did Dear Esther, which I always say is more of a poetic, an interactive story rather than a video game. And this one it sounds sort of the same. It's open world exploration, and your goal is essentially to uncover the story. So to me, that sounds a lot like Dear Esther. Mm-hmm. We'll find out more about that. Another one I didn't write anything about is Quadrilateral Cowboy. One called Eltz, one called Nah. Fledge, which, from what I understand, the quote is, it's about bird songs in flight. These games are really weird, but I think that's why it's called the Horizon Conference, because it's like,
testing
what's on the horizon.
Testing new concepts.
Yep. Another one is Metamorphobit, which is cool. Dan, you might want to think about this for Max. It's a kid's game. You interact with letters, and if you press on the A, it zooms into A, and then the A morphs into different things that start with an A. So at first it makes antlers, and then the antlers morph into an arch, and then it says arch.
Huh.
Just a good way to learn your alphabet,
Yeah,
but pretty cool
that is cool.
nonetheless. And that's all I had. I just, I wanted to give those indie games that didn't get press conference coverage a little bit more attention.
Yeah.
And all stuff to keep an eye on. I don't know. It sucks because we'll never know what we missed at E3 until something cool shows up later on, and they're like, we were at E3 kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Corey, what was your best in show, I guess?
Oh, that's a good question, Dan. I really have a hard time picking one. I was really impressed with Little Big Planet 3. Maybe I was just in the right kind of mood for that. I hesitate. I mean, other than the obvious, The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
It's really hard to not pick that. I liked the Fable Legends thing, the playing as the villain. I don't know. There were so many. It was just like John put it really well. It's a hype machine, and it was effective this year, and that's a good thing. He wanted all the systems now, just like I do.
Yeah.
There wasn't. I don't think anything really, really stood out for me. But I think overall it was a really good show.
Okay. Who do you think won E3?
It's really tough for me to say. I don't know. I also really liked Nintendo. All those games really got me excited, and their presentation as a whole I thought was really compelling. And I mean, seeing Zelda like that was just great.
Yeah.
I would say Sony and Microsoft for me were about the same, so I'd probably have to give the edge to Nintendo, but still, I think they all deserve credit.
Okay. Sounds good. What about you, Will? Best in show?
Thinking about it, it's kind of hard to decide, as Corey said, because they all had very good press conferences. But I think, looking back, the thing that I come out most excited for, because the potential it has, is the open world Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that would have been my pick too if it wasn't for No Man's Sky.
Oh, No Man's Sky too is another one.
Yeah, that one blew me away because I think it was VGX last year when the trailer came out for it, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of neat. But the trailer that they showed at on the PlayStation conference just, I don't know, it encapsulated.
I thought that was at E3 last year.
No, it got announced at the VGX Awards last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that it spoke to me, I guess. So that was my best in show. But I think Nintendo won E3. For me, they killed it on every level. And like I said, a lot of it was that they had lengthy gameplay videos of all their big games that are coming out, and that I really appreciated that. They weren't coy in any way. They said, these are our games. This is how they play. Hyrule Warriors is another one I watched maybe an hour of gameplay for. Splatoon. I watched, a good portion of. Smash I watched a ton of gameplay footage for.
Mm-hmm.
They just did a great job with all their stuff. So,
yeah, exactly.
Crushed it.
They needed to.
Yeah. I think they restored people's faith in the Wii U a little bit.
Was it you who said that you thought Nintendo this year would come out strong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my bold prediction for 2014.
You really? And some.
It was also mine, guys, if you remember correctly.
Was it?
Well, I said overall it would be very underwhelming, but that Nintendo, even though they weren't going to be there, would blow everybody out of the water.
Okay.
And who said that they thought Nintendo would have a new IP? They were also right with that.
I said that.
Yeah. Good job.
Last episode, I think.
Good job.
Yeah, because remember I held off on my E3 predictions so long?
Yeah.
I think it was last episode that I finally... I don't even know if I did them on the air. I think it might have just been in one of the breaks.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys nailed it this year then.
Yeah.
They had to.
Yeah, they did.
Something had to be brewing at Nintendo all these years.
It was the open world Zelda game. Little did we know.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on E3? To wrap it up?
I don't think so. It was a good year.
It was a good year. We all kind of agreed that we thought E3 would be a disappointment, but I didn't get that. The only one that I was really disappointed by was EA.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything, so.
Do you ever feel bad for EA?
Yeah, at times. Because I think they try, and they do have good game franchises. I mean, Dragon Age was awesome, but that was the only thing they brought. They had a lot of sports games on there, which I don't care about the sports games anymore. The problem is they tried to go to behind the scenes and didn't which I like. That's fine, but they didn't show any gameplay footage.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because they announced games that were already announced, which is Battlefront and Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I do feel bad for them sometimes, though, but sometimes they bring it upon themselves.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Any other thoughts? Corey?
No.
Nothing. All right. Twitter feedback. This is from Ryan Iowa, who says, I want to hear in-depth details on Destiny. I'm thinking about getting the PS4 Destiny set. We talked a little bit about Destiny earlier in the episode. We probably will hold off on talking about it a lot until Eric's back next week. We'll go a little more in-depth in our time with the alpha. So
yeah, Eric's played the most. All of us.
Yeah, probably. I would say Eric's played the most. So, I did like it. I didn't like the multiplayer very much. That's my brief synopsis, but it was a really fun game.
I didn't even know what I was doing, and I wound up in a multiplayer match.
Okay, yeah.
I was thoroughly confused, but it was one of those, I love this confused.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Moving on, Facebook from Idaho Jake says, E3 was good this year with all the games, but there's still nothing from now till September. I like Phil Spencer more than I did that other guy with Xbox, and I don't know, but I'm the only one that caught in his own words saying sorry for last year's bullshit. Evolve, AC Unity, Scalebound, Bloodborne, and maybe Dead Island 2 are games I'm excited for. The next games gave me but the next games gave me gamer boner. Diablo 3 is a must buy, and I even got, let me zoom in here. Diablo 3 is a must buy, and I even got excited for The Last of Us. Last of Us is going to be part of it. Battlefield Hardline, wow. No Man's Sky sounds just fucking cool, and it is a must buy, and I'm sure Dan will agree. Far Cry 4, of course, and I like how you can get help from your PSN friends even if they don't own the game. Batman, holy shitballs, that looks amazing. Tomb Raider 2, hell yes. Dragon Age is also a must buy, my game of the show, and 2015's game of the year. The Witcher 3. That game made me come in my pants again. And now for my 2014 game of the year. Sorry about this, Dan. Destiny. That was before he knew I got into the alpha. So I appreciate your concern, but I did get into the alpha. So, man, this game is fucking awesome, and it's just in its first beta. And July 17th, Dan, better get plus, because the second beta will be out. September will be a month of great gaming. Now to my experience with the beta, I chose the Warlock, and it starts you out on Earth. The controls are pretty much like any other shooter, so nobody will have a problem starting out. Graphics are awesome. It's a mix between Halo and Borderlands, which means really good. I do like how you summon your speeder and just press this touchscreen, your ghost pops out, and you hold the triangle, and boom, it drives like vehicles in Borderlands. The map area is pretty big, and I've tried to explore it all. After you do the first mission, they put beacons all over the map, and that is how you get more missions. The multiplayer, or I guess PvP part of it, is like Call of Duty, but good. There are two maps, one on Earth and one on the Moon. The one on the Moon has vehicles, and I think it is my favorite. I will have to say, make sure you have the right gun, because I died a lot, and I think it's because of my gun. My tip for everyone is that playing it, if you have a heavy gun, you have to hold triangle and press down on the D-pad to equip it. It is one of the things I don't like about the game. Hey, Will, I don't have you as a friend on my PSN. My tag is RealBigKong. If you want to play Destiny with me, hit me up. Well, I hope that is enough to make Dan even sadder that he let his plus run out. So thanks for that, Jake. So yeah, Jake, good rundown of the games that he was excited for. And I totally agree. Phil Spencer is a lot better of a PR guy, and I think his vision is a lot better for the Xbox brand than Don Matrick.
Oh yeah,
way better. He was definitely the right choice for them to hire for what is president of Xbox operations or something. I don't even know what his exact job title is, but he's kind of the face of Xbox now. So that was a great move on their part. I think he's doing good things for Xbox. So he made it all about the games, which is what people want, you know.
Yeah, that's what the gamers want.
Exactly.
Not TV.
Not TV, right? And you know, it's a good multimedia box too, but you buy a console to play video games on, so you know. So that was good. So Valerie in Iowa says, I'm looking forward to Big Planet 3. I think me and Corey can echo your statements there. Will, Little Big Planet 3?
Oh, yeah, I'll be having it.
Yeah, it looks great. And again, it's one I'll play with my wife. I will have to invest in another DualShock, a DualShock 4, but that's fine. I was going to get one anyway, so $60 is a lot of money for a controller, though, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is.
But what can you do? I'll need it. So thank you for that. Ryan in Iowa says, I am drinking the PS4 Kool-Aid. I thought they won. Some of their exclusives were really good, starting with Second Son DLC, and I thought the PS TV is a cool idea. In reality, probably where we will be in 25 years. No consoles, just direct from, quote-unquote, the corporation. Even though Uncharted isn't really my jam, I thought it looked like an epic movie, as did The Order. Super awesome Penny Dreadful stylized movie video game, kind of along the lines of Heavy Rain. My kind of jam there. Open world Zelda made my ears perk up. It's been a long time since I did a Link Zelda game, but I would revisit that world with that game. Also, No Man's Sky didn't win to me. That game is like 2, maybe even 2.5 years out. And finally, I was pissed there was no Quantum Break video or gameplay for the Sony conference. Well, that's all for now. Thanks, Ryan in Iowa.
Yeah, there wasn't anything for Quantum Break, was there?
No, but that's Xbox.
Okay.
That's the one with the television show, right?
Yeah.
That's Xbox, but they didn't have anything for it.
Yeah. They didn't show anything for Dying Light either, did they?
No, Dying Light didn't have a presence. They might have, but not in the main conferences.
That's okay. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I think No Man's Sky is going to come out before 2 years. Just my thoughts. I think I think part of the reason why games are announced so early nowadays is because leaks are not. They can't control leaks. Leaks are going to happen because so many people are working on games now, and social media is so easy to put stuff out on for people to find,
especially accidentally.
Yeah, exactly. I think that part of the reason why for the early game announcements is that reason, you know, to get the news out there before leaks happen. But it's a different situation with No Man's Sky because it's such a small team. They're going to know who had the leak, you know. So I think they've been working on this game for a little while now. I don't think it's 2 to 2.5 years out. It may be, but I mean, part of that is wishful thinking, of course.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not 2 to 2.5 years out. I'm thinking next year sometime, maybe summer or fall next year, 2015, I think. And I watched an interview with the guy, and he said that they do have a timetable for release internally. He doesn't want to release that yet because you never know what kind of issues you're going to come across in game development. So he didn't want to get people excited for no reason and then crush their spirit, which I like. So they're
good for him.
Until they get really close to their release date, they're not gonna announce anything. So that's good to know. So any other thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Be playing Destiny with Eric and Jake tomorrow. I did want to say to Jake, my gamer tag is completely different or my PlayStation name is completely different from my gamer tag, so I'll send you a friend request, so when you get it, don't be like, well, what the heck is this? Because it's very different.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
Bedtime.
Bedtime. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. This episode I will have to do a little weird editing for, so it probably won't go up until probably tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm not going to do it tonight. I've got to get upstairs and get to bed. So yeah, this episode will come out. I don't know when we're going to be recording next week. We haven't figured out an episode topic either. So you'll probably find that out last minute.
It'll be before Saturday.
Yeah, we'll probably figure it out last minute too. So we'll keep you posted on our social media, on our Twitter and possibly Facebook. So yeah, that'll do it for some episode 151 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host Dan.
Will.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.
1, 2, 3.